Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. Sorry, I was live and I didn't even know it. So how are we all doing today? Manchester United against Bournemouth in a very small ground, in very big circumstances for United. Team news should be just about coming in for us. As soon as we get that, we will confirm that. But I hope you're all doing very, very well. Yeah, big game for United. We've got to win. We've got to win today, haven't we? There's no two ways about us. We've got to go and win. This ground's got no atmosphere. It's got no people in it. It's got about as many people as an England rugby team victory parade. We've lost. But we move on. United got to win today. We'll talk about the Saudi Arabian buyout. I had people messaging me last night saying it's definitely happening. There is a bit of an official line from Manchester United Football Club, which we'll talk about in a moment. But the game kicks off at 12:30 as far as I'm concerned. And the team news should be coming in very, very shortly. 12:30 kickoff. We have why Romero in goal. Martial is playing. I don't know. I think De Gea's probably been carrying a little bit of a knock, and that's probably why he's not starting. But I've not had the confirmation of the team come through yet, so hence I always do just hold off a little bit. But let's have a look. Oh, I've got Romero in goal. That's why people are thinking that. Don't worry about that. It's not the official line. There was just some rumour that De Gea might not start. I suspect he will do as soon as we get the team news in. Full team, Young is starting, says Jude Naguranan. Yeah, well, we fully expected that. And team news is in. So congratulations to South Africa, goes without saying. Begrudgingly, congratulations to them, I would say, but the better team did win at the end of the day. Why are United on Twitter always slow with the team news? So I'm waiting for the team news now. I've got loads of people saying that the team news is in. May as well just go to bloody Instagram at the end of the day. Instagram, hashtag Instagram better than Twitter. That's what I think. Let's have a look if we can get it up on here. That's what she said. Search Man United. No, they've not put it up on there either yet. Fair enough. I'm moaning for nothing. We haven't got the official team news from anybody yet, but I'm pretty sure it is. Okay, we have got the team news now because I've got it on the telly. De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Young, McTominay, Fred, James, Rashford, Pereira, Martial. So there's the team. Bench, Romero, Rojo, Williams, Garner, Mata, Lingard and Greenwood. So bench, it's not got Matic on it, has it? I suppose it's got Williams on it, it's got Greenwood on it, it's got Garner on it. I quite like it. I think that's the best that United could go with. With regards to Bournemouth, they will be playing that 4-4-2 with King and Wilson up front. Ake plays as well, so a little bit of an adjustment with the team news. With the news that De Gea will start in goal, there had been a little bit of a rumour that he would not, but he will, and we can change that team news for you now and have it officially up on the screen for you, which will be De Gea in goal, of course, and no place for Sergio Romero other than sat on his backside on the bench. So there you have your correct team news. De Gea in goal. And we predicted it right. I don't think there's any surprises with that team news. And to be honest with you, it's starting to take shape as United's best team, isn't it? I think that the United's team, that is pretty much, that is United's best team at the moment. With Pereira, Fred and McTominay as the midfield. And Rashford and Martial and James as the front three. And look, I don't like Ashley Young. I'm just going to say it there. Ashley Young should not be starting for Manchester United. He certainly shouldn't be captain. He shouldn't be starting. For me, he's the only weak link in that team now. And I know Fred, McTominay and Pereira are a weak link, but they're a progressive weak link because you can build out with that. And they will have games where I think they get dominated, but they'll get better and better. Games will make them players better. Games are not going to make Ashley Young better. Games will make Brandon Williams better. And Brandon Williams is better than Ashley Young. So Ashley Young should not be playing for Manchester United. I don't know whether you agree or disagree, but you can certainly get in the live comments and tell me what you think about that. But I just think Ashley Young should not be playing at all. Harry Maguire is playing. I don't think we've seen anything about him not playing. I hope I've not missed anything about him not playing because that would really piss me off. As far as I know, he's playing. I think I just saw the team news with him playing, so get lost. What's going on here? Yeah, Manchester United Twitter account has still not put out the team news. Useless. Sack your people who do Twitter, you absolute idiots. Maguire is starting. Yeah, I've seen that. So, yeah, I'm happy with that team. And I think, you know what, obviously I hope Manchester United win today. I think all United fans hope we win today. But I think we're getting very close to a team now that we really do want to invest in. You know, we like this team. So it's I like this team. It's a good team. And, apart from Paul Pogba, I wouldn't be making any changes to that team anyway. So, I do believe that there are definite areas for improvement in that side, but at the moment I'm very happy with that team, apart from Ashley Young, who I just think is a liability, and I won't change my mind on this. And I get bored of people saying, oh, you can't, you're negative, this, that and the other. Look, I've been watching football for over 30 years. When I used to go on the terraces in the LA theatres, people used to abuse fat players then because they were crap. I don't know where this modern snowflake society, which is basically bordering on turning us into a communist country, where you can't have a negative opinion. I mean, if you abuse somebody, yeah, you deserve pulling up. If you're racist, sexist, homophobic, you deserve to be dealt with. But if you just think somebody's a crap footballer based on your eyes, I don't have a problem with that. You know, I'm bored of people telling me that I should apologise to players for being critical of them because they score one good goal in 8 months. No, forget about it. I'll praise them when they're playing well for 8 months. I'll praise them when they score that one good goal, but it doesn't make the criticism over the last 8 months unjustified. Football is a superb game, and it's a superb spectator sport, and it has an amazing community behind it in the fan communities. But I tell you what, if they take away our right to criticise players who wear our team shirts, then football's going to die. Is it true we have a Saudi prince coming to save us from the Glazers, says Mark Witten. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. This is the best lineup we can field right now, says Chuck in Bangkok. I agree with you. And Fitness Unscripted, Sharaf Kamath says, I hope no one out these 11 get injured and we have a consistent run with the same 11. Team chemistry has been a big issue for us. And I think just to touch in on the team news as well, please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're going to try and get to 575,000 subscribers today. We can do it, so please do subscribe if you're new. Bottom right-hand corner. Please change the centre-backs. Oh my God, Dan. What am I doing? What am I doing with my centre backs? I'm a bloody idiot. I don't even know why I've got those couple of planks playing. That's just stupid. Thanks, Dan, for the contribution. You didn't need to do that to tell me, but I'm an idiot, and you're right. It is actually Harry Maguire and Lindelof playing at centre back, not those couple of clowns. But no, just going back to the team news, I just wanted to say this as well before we talk about the Saudi Arabian alleged takeover. I'm happy with that team today, apart from Ashley Young. So unless Ashley Young has a worldie of a hat-trick of stupid mistakes, realistically, we're happy with that team. So my statement would be this. If we're happy with the team and we're happy with those players without buying players, which we can't do at the moment and Pogba's injured, if we're happy with that team, where is the focus of this game if it doesn't go our way? It goes with the coaching. So Ollie's, picked the right team. He's now got to go and pick the right tactics. I'm over the moon that we're not playing 3 at the back. I feared that we might do that. We're not playing 3 at the back. So that is the correct team news now. Can I just check it? Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire and Young, De Gea. Yes. That is the team that we will be playing. So I'm happy with that. And I think Ollie's on trial today. Gary Neville sort of hinted at it. We've had a little bit of a mini revival. So today we need to go and increase that revival. I'm predicting a 3-1 win to Manchester United. We've got to go and win today. There are no excuses. I don't think you can count and say that Paul Pogba is the key. I think we can do fine without Pogba. McTominay's doing well. Fred's getting those game time that we've been talking about for 8 months now. Whether Fred's good enough or not, I don't know. But we're only going to find out by playing him week in, week out. And he's playing a lot of games at the moment. So we're going to come out of this period when Pogba comes back and we'll have made our mind up about Fred. So very interested to see how he does. I'm very, very happy that Pereira's playing over Lingard and Lingard's on the bench. I applaud that. I literally applaud it. I'm applauding it now. That is brilliant. Lingard has been being picked off his reputation for way too long. Get on the bench and sit down. Pereira should play. I applaud that as well. Why don't you like 3 at the back, says Vikram. I don't like 3 at the back because it's proven to be boring. I don't like watching Manchester United soak up pressure, have hardly any possession and just hit teams on the break with a sucker punch. It's boring. I want to see us on the ball. I want to see us having phases of play. I want to see us creating lots of chances. We don't do that with 3 at the back, so I don't like 3 at the back. It's 4-2-3-1, not 4-3-3. Ethan Rodgers, up your arse. I'm not getting involved in 4-2-3-1s, 4-1-2-1-2s, 4-3-3s, and any other accumulation you want to go with. We will never know until the game kicks off anyway. Right, let's talk about the takeover. Very interesting video on the United stand last night. Make sure you subscribe if you are new. We are live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got fan cams, reactions, previews, breaking news. Last night we were live at 8 o'clock and we were talking about the news that Manchester United had been bought by Saudi Arabians. And this was coming from a verified journalist / government representative in the Saudi Arabian country of Saudi Arabia. I said last night when we were talking about it, it's a hypothetical. I don't think it will actually happen. But what I would say is we will be finding out at some point whether there's any truth in it, because United will not want this to be a story that grows and grows and grows. There has been no official line from Manchester United about this. However, the Manchester Evening News, who do have connections with the club, have said this morning that United are bewildered by this announcement. It's not going to happen. They're over there to continue the relationship they've been building up over the last 2 years, which is to allow the Saudi Arabian government to invest and increase their portfolio by investing into Manchester United. And this is what I feared. This is United bringing more money into the club whilst the Glazers stay in charge. And that money comes into the club and goes into their pocket. This is not a takeover bid. This is not a purchase. You've got people who should keep their gobs shut because they are lying. Oh, and one of which is a fan camera for us saying, I know that we're going to be bought by the Saudi Arabians. Do you bollocks? All this sauce and bollocks like this, we're going to be bought. You know nothing, and you're playing with the fans' opinions. I know nothing about this purchase. If we get purchased, then it will be out of the blue. But do not start listening to these people who are going, we're going to be bought, it's true, they're going to announce it on Monday. They don't bloody know. It's like transfer news. They're jumping on things and hoping they're going to be right, and then they'll go, I knew all along. The only source they've got is tomato and bloody HP in their cupboard for their bacon sandwich on a Saturday morning. We don't know what's going on with this, but I'm 90% sure we aren't being purchased at all. Come party with us in South Africa champions, says JBW. Yes. To all you South Africans, this is a football channel. I've watched rugby. I won't be watching it again till the Six Nations. The door is closed on that. Enjoy your party. Well done. And well done for paying off the French ref. Is Gary Neville a Spurs fan and a Man City fan or a United fan, says Mark Down? I hope that's not a serious question because it's 4-3-1. Ethan Rodgers, you're on your last warning. You're boring the crap out of me. You're on your last warning. And Young should be benched. He makes too much mistakes. Williams should start, says Chadwick. I agree. I absolutely agree. If United was sold, the whole world would know about it because the shares are on the New York Stock Exchange, says Abra. I know, and you know what? Only 100% purchase is United stand merch, says Murray. Oh, I forgot about that. Actually, I've got two things to tell you about. We've got a giveaway and obviously the United stand t-shirt, which I'm wearing now. The sort of Stone Roses design fused with Manchester is red and adored. You can get these. Links in the video description. We've got the green and gold. We've got loads of designs. They're very, very nice. Links in the video description if you want to get United stand t-shirts. I wear them all the time because they're actually very good quality and nice and make you look cool. But links in the video description for that. But the second thing, a free giveaway. I should have told you about this yesterday. 888 Sport. Link in the video description for this. There's a video about whether you should get a red card for diving in the penalty box. There's a debate video. The link is in the video description. All you've got to do to be in the chance of winning a Manchester United shirt is go and click onto that video and just leave a comment on there of whether you think you should get a red card for diving in the box. Just a sentence. But make sure when you do leave your comments, you go over it, you put your comment there and you say, I'm come over from the United stand. I think this. And that will get you in the entry to win a Manchester United home shirt. I tell you what, I don't think many of you will do it. So all you've got to do there to win a Manchester United shirt is click the link in the video description for the 888 Sport video. Go over there, say, I'm from the United stand. I don't think you should get a red card for VAR for diving in the box because I love diving. Tom Daly's my biggest fan, or something like that. Or make sure you say, I'm from the United stand in the comments section of that video, and you will go in the draw to win a Manchester United home shirt. So there you go. Very, very easy competition. I was meant to announce it last night. I forgot because I got excited about the Saudi Arabian purchase. Link in the video description, 888 Sport, Manchester United shirt giveaway. get in the comments, say I'm from the United Stand, and just give your comment on whether you think you should get a red card for diving. And then you're in the draw, and then you might win it. And there might be only 3 people who go and do it, which gives you a 33.333 recurring chance of winning. So there you go with that. If you want to get United Stand shirts, we will be giving away some of these at the Christmas party, but we're not giving any away now. You can just get those by clicking the link in the video description. How long is Luke Shaw out, says Levi Pegler. Luke Shaw is out until after the international break, according to Jose Mourinho. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. AK says, Mark, hypothetically speaking, if we got bought, would you have any ethically or moral obligations due to the owner being an entity to the government? I don't know. I don't really understand that question, AK. I thought you were going to go down the road of would I have any ethical or moral problems with us being bought by the Saudi Arabian government, who have been linked to the murder of an American-based journalist in Turkey who went to get his passport and never came out, and I think they found that they know he was murdered. And this has been linked to the Saudi Arabian government. And that obviously does raise issues. However, I don't think anything's been proven. And also, what I would say is that the Saudi Arabian government have invested money in lots of other businesses. Somebody said they've invested in Apple yesterday. I don't think they have. I think they have a close relationship with Apple, but I don't think they have invested with Apple. But if they had invested in Apple, is everybody going to send their Apple phone back this morning and say, I don't want anything to do with this phone because they have a relationship or they get on with the Saudi Arabian government? And there will be things that you use in your everyday life that the Saudi Arabian government have invested in. So, that's a level of hypocrisy that I have a problem with. Also, you could say that the American government, you could say that the Glazers are, have political aspirations. You can always find something. It is a concern, but to be honest with you, I don't think it's a concern we need to worry about in relation to purchasing the club. But I think they will be investing in the club. So even if they don't purchase it, well, there's a level of hypocrisy here, because if you have a problem with the Saudi Arabian government buying Manchester United, and it is hypothetical, it's probably not going to happen, but if you do have a problem with that, right, why do you have a problem with them buying our club, but you don't have a problem with the fact that they're investing anyway? They have a relationship with the Glazers and Manchester United already, and nobody's moaning about that. But if they buy us, we'll moan about it. What's the difference? Investing money, owning. They're still pumping money into our club. So the moral argument's there anyway. MUFTV are saying that MUTV are saying we're playing 4-3-2-1, which is good. Hope we don't see the 5-3-2. Also, MUFC pre-game is bloody boring. United Stand all the way. That's from Brandon Hayward. Of course it is, because we're fans. We're bloody fans. People say to me all the time, "Would you like to have an interview with Marcus Rashford or Anthony Martial?" From a pure, like, I'm a United fan, I'd like to have a chat with them. Yeah, but from a United standpoint of view, what are they going to say? They're not going to sit there and tell me Ashley Young's crap. And I tell you for a fact, if ex-players want a list of questions you're going to ask them before you speak to them, imagine what a player of Manchester United's going to want. Well, they're just not going to talk to you, are they? Imagine Pogba, McTominay and Bruno Fernandes in midfield, Mark, and with Williams or Shaw at left back. What a team we would have after one window, says Levi Pegler. And I think that's, we should operate in a world of positivity at this moment in time, because we have a little bit of positivity to sort of grab onto as Manchester United fans at the moment. So we should do that. And I think when you look at that team on the left, how far away do you think we are from being a decent side? It's total speculation. It's total fantasy, because we just don't know how good we are. I mean, everyone's going on about how great McTominay is, and I thought he played really well the other night. Consistency is the key. Everyone's saying how great Fred is. Well, consistency is going to be the key. Today is a huge game for Manchester United, because you've got to play in a game like this and put a marker down, make a statement against Bournemouth. We know Bournemouth. If you wanted your prime example of a mid-table side in the Premier League, and if somebody was on tour, like somebody was putting a team together and they went, we want to play the absolute example of a mid-table team in the Premier League, someone would pull out Bournemouth. They are a prime example of a mid-table team. So for United, we're playing a mid-table team today, and if we can beat them, then we're pushing on beyond mid-table. If we struggle, then we're a mid-table team. If we lose, we might be below a mid-table team. So in today's game, we're getting a prime example of what a mid-table team should be and is, and we're going to be going up against that. James Patrick, in regards to the journalist, I think it has been proven beyond a reasonable doubt that the Saudis There are also lots of other human rights concerns linked to them, says James Patrick. Well, I'm not going to read out what you've said about that journalist, but yeah. James, what I would say is, for everybody who has a problem with the Saudi Arabian government taking over Manchester United, they're already investing in the club. So they may not own it, but they're already involved in deals with the club. That's why United were out there, and this has been going on for a couple of years. So where's your protests about that? You know, everyone's moaning about it because they don't want us to own potentially owners, but they're already investing in the club. Where's the moaning about that? Have you been through everybody else who invests in Manchester United and checked their background as well? I just think it's a little bit hypocritical. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I think it's a bit hypocritical that we're all moaning about it now, but they may well have already invested in our club and nobody's moaned about it. Congratulations to South Africa, says Jordake Murrigan. Did us proud. Love the channel. Thank you very much, mates. Zayn Miasi, Mark's England rugby midfield was as bad as United. That's from an Arsenal fan. At least our midfield doesn't walk off. Tell our fans to F off. And they're the captain of the club. Take the L, Zayn. Dipanshu Kumar says, I don't have a moral problem with the Saudis. However, if they buy us, they will destroy the club, such as change the name of the stadium club badge. I hope not. Well, we don't know that. They're not going to buy us anyway. All these clowns who are telling you that, who are doing it for fucking retweets and status. Oh, I've got somebody I know we're going to be bought. Fuck off. You know, you're playing with people's weekends. You're playing with people's hope, and you're bullshitting them. I know somebody, and we've definitely been sold. What a wanker to say that. Like, you're absolute wankers. You're doing it for status. Like, you don't know we've been bought at all. You do not know. You are guessing. Mark, look at Liverpool. They had a rebuild without oil money. With the oil money, Manchester United would be associated with City, PSG and Chelsea, says Mr. Mitt. Which I think is a very, very, very valid point. You know, we have been a little bit hypocritical about City being bought by oil. And then the last couple of days we've had hashtag Saudis in, please buy us. I think the worst thing that's come out of this for United is we will not be bought by the Saudis. We've spent 48 hours begging to be bought by the Saudis, and we will remain under the Glazers for another few years, and we will take the L on the fact that we were begging to be bought by the same sort of owners that City have got, and we've not been bought, and we remain with the Glazers. And that's another 1-0 for City, isn't it? Because they'll be like, ha ha ha, you take the mickey out of us for being oil money. Most of your fans are begging to be bought by oil, but the Glazers keep hold of you and keep raping you of money. So there you go. My secret video. Thanks for the contribution. 10-0 to Bournemouth, says Taylor Brown. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Oil at the wheel instead of Ollie at the wheel, says Kartik. I like it. So get involved in the link in the video. Sorry, get involved and tell me what your score predictions are on this game. Let's bring it back to the game for a moment, because obviously that's the big thing for Manchester United today. Very, very important that Manchester United win today. Weiss, James to score today. I think that United, and that's coming from Sir Rowlett, I think that with regards to United, I can see a scenario whereby they will struggle against Manchester United today, Bournemouth, if we can stretch them. And I think that's the thing. Stretch Armstrong. Can Manchester United stretch Bournemouth? The way Bournemouth play, and I've said this before, it's a 4-4-2. When they get the ball, they will spring forward. But when they haven't got the ball, they'll be very compact, because that's the best way to deal with Manchester United. So I think that the way United approach this game today is going to be very, very interesting, because we're going to have to play in a slightly different way to the way that we have been. But I do fancy us to win. I just feel that we're on a momentum pull at the moment, and I think that for United is really, really important as we look forward to what after this will be a very, very good run of games for us, a very favourable run of games with the likes of we've got Brighton next week. I mean, even the Europa League games, Astana and Partizan, sandwiched between Brighton, Sheffield United, Aston Villa. You know, we've got a really good run of games after this. This is our hardest game till December, till the Christmas trees go up. So, I mean, there's a good point there from Otton's 11. He says we won't score from open play. That's the challenge that we're all absolutely aware of at the moment. Can Manchester United create chances from open play? I actually think that we're a better team without Pogba at the moment. Maybe they can bring attacking to football, says Imrano. I think United without Pogba are a better team at the moment, quite simply because the midfield is a grafting midfield of Pereira and McTominay and Fred. They're all quick across the ground and they're all quite tenacious. So Well, but the big question mark, and I will keep saying this, I loved McTominay's performance midweek. I do like Fred, and I like Pereira, and he deserves to be playing over Lingard. But the big question mark over that midfield is, can they get the ball from back to front to create chances? You know, we can moan about Matic, and there's no doubt in my mind that Fred and McTominay are better than Matic. But what they're not better than Matic at, and they're the same as Matic at, is that they don't create anything for the forwards. They don't move the ball quick enough forward. That's what we need to see today. We need to start creating more chances. Zayn Miasi says, Mark, it's clearly Mourinho was not the problem. The players are not the real men, and threw Mourinho under the bus, as Kino said. If you had stronger characters, you would have been a success. Players like Oil because he's a pushover. Ollie because he's a pushover. That's Zayn Miasi, everybody. He's basically a bitter Arsenal fan who comes on the United stand and constantly talks crap about United. The reason Zayn is saying that it's clear that Mourinho wasn't the problem is because he wants Mourinho to be the next Arsenal manager, because Arsenal fans are more flip-flop than a dying fish. They think that Mourinho is the answer to their questions. And I really hope that you sack Unai Emery and you give Jose Mourinho the job. Because your statement that it clearly wasn't Mourinho's fault, as Manchester United fans, I know categorically it was Mourinho's fault. I also know that Jose Mourinho himself admitted that he deserved the sack. So you crack on thinking it wasn't Mourinho. This is a guy who parks the bus at West Ham. This is a guy who plays McTominay and Herrera at centre-back. This is a guy who built his midfield around static Matic. This is a guy who loved himself more than this football club. He was a disaster for Manchester United. He wanted to buy Jerome Boateng. He was a boring, negative manager who deserved the sack. Send him up, wrap him up and send him to Arsenal for Christmas. Luke Ledger says the difference with us compared to City and PSG, etc. is we don't need a rich owner's personal money. We just need an owner who will let us spend ours. And I think you're spot on there, Luke. I said that last night. With United, the ideal scenario is we get purchased by a billionaire who buys us with two firm objectives. One, that they want us to be successful on the football pitch, the best club in the world. And two, long term, they want to make money off us, but they're not that bothered about making money because they're already very rich. If a billionaire bought Manchester United, we wouldn't actually need their input like PSG and Man City do. We don't need their millions. We need their millions to buy us. We don't need their millions to buy players because we've already got that. We just don't use it because the Glazers are too busy using our profits to put in their pocket and pay the debt off. That's what we need. We need the club to be bought by a billionaire who's not going to buy us on debt, who's not interested in taking out. We don't want to be bought by businessmen who just want to take our money. That's what the Glazers were. Bought us on debt and bled us dry, and are still doing it now. They don't support the club. They're not interested. They want us to be successful on the pitch because it makes them more money, but they don't want to spend much money to make us successful on the pitch. Simon Heldon says, I think we need to control the ball today and be clinical and break down their defence. 2-1 to United. I mean, look, in relation to the Bournemouth game, I must admit there is a fear from me today that Manchester United could end up drawing this game. And I think a draw in the context of the league would be quite an annoying result because I think that the way things are going, and I will take a look at it a little bit later, but if we were to draw today, I think we would end up, by the end of this weekend, dropping down to probably mid-table, which again, people would see as improvement because we were 15th last week, but actually I don't think it is. I think Manchester United have got to go and win today. Because, yeah, I think we will beat Brighton next week. I think we will beat Sheffield United and Villa. But then again, we shouldn't take it as a given. I think there is an opportunity to go and beat Brighton, Sheffield United and Aston Villa. Of course there is. But when have United gone and taken those opportunities? However, momentum is going to be key. We know under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that he is the type of manager that can go and win, for 3 months on a row. That's what he can do. That's what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can do. So today is the confidence we'll get from today would be very sufficient. And yeah, we are seventh in the league with 13 points, but West Ham are 10th with 13 points, and West Ham are home to Newcastle. So I think a draw won't do as much good today. Pranav Galati says, we're playing unchanged. What do you think about the burnout and we risk facing, especially people like McTominay and James? We're dead if we go a goal down early. I mean, Pranav, you make a very good point there, which is something that I've been talking about throughout the week, to be fair. We have played a lot of players 3 times in 6 days, and that could hurt us. I mean, people like Martial, yeah, he's had a rest midweek, but Rashford, Maguire, Lindelof, Fred, McTominay, that's half of our team, and Wan-Bissaka, so that's over half our team, have played Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday. And it's Sunday evening Wednesday evening, Saturday morning. So it's basically nearly, you're not far off 3 games in 5.5 days. So there we go. Yeah, it could be a problem. I don't think Ollie's utilised the squad enough, if I'm absolutely honest. Paul, can you hear me?
Yeah, mate, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly, pal. How you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. You?
I am good. A bit of an unchanged team. A very big game for Manchester United. What's your thoughts on the team?
Apart from Williams, which I'd rather over Young, yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think it's the best team we can put out at the moment. So yeah, I'm positive. I think Bournemouth are going to bring their game to us at home, which is going to work in our favour. And I hope we can take advantage of that. Martial being back up front, huge.
Definitely. And you know what, on Martial as well, I just want to repeat what I said at the start of the season, because I'm not hiding behind this. I did say that I fancied Martial to outscore Aubameyang this season, and Arsenal fans have been very, very quick to jump on that. But what they seem to forget is that before Martial got injured, they actually had the same amount of goals. They had 2 goals in 3 games. And obviously, Aubameyang has moved ahead of him because of the for the injury to Martial. But Martial's come back. He's got 1 goal. I expect him to score again. I feel that Martial, like you've said there, when he's on the pitch for United, he will score goals for us. And he is a massive, massive improvement. Even last week against Norwich, I mean, the goal was fantastic. But it's his movement. It's his movement and the runs he makes as the number 9. The improvement in him, I know we've only seen him 4 games, but the improvement with him has been fantastic.
It's a marked improvement. Just over the summer period, it just seems like whatever he's told, that's the difference between Martial and Rashford. Rashford doesn't seem to have taken on board, which I assume what Ollie would be teaching him in terms of movement, poaching in the box, back to goal, bringing other people into play. Whereas Martial, he seems to have stepped up a level in terms of, his overall body of work. His hold-up play looks excellent, which Rashford can't do. He can also face people up and beat them. His control's fantastic. His first touch is very good. And his spatial awareness is good. And also his awareness of players around him. I've noticed like a real big step up. And I was quite shocked to see that, actually, because before his decision-making wasn't great. And he just seems to have matured. He seemed, hopefully, without injury, and with a manager like Ollie, he can be the player we always knew he can be. Because I feel quite sorry for Martial in terms of Jose, I think, stagnated him for a year by messing him about, benching him, putting him on the wing, and also with injuries. I think he's behind his development, but if he can get to where we think he can be this summer, he's going to be one hell of a player, Mark.
Natalie Green says, Mark, are you the Saudi prince with that gold ring on your finger? That's a wedding ring and it's not gold. And I'm not a Saudi prince. So there we go. I've answered all your questions. Mahentaran Gansi says, love your show and your opinion is on point. Keep it up. Love from Malaysia. Hopefully I can meet you one day. Yeah, well, Christmas party in December. And Martial is a Van Hal signing, says Cider. I don't know where he's going with that. But you spoke about Bournemouth there. I just want to. What's your perception of Bournemouth with regards to the game today, Paul? Because you said that that will suit us. I personally think that what we'll see with Bournemouth is what United have struggled with, is that when they've got the ball, they'll attack us, but when they haven't got the ball, they'll just be very compact. And I think that is something that United struggle against, because I think United prefer to play the Chelseas, the Leicesters, the Liverpools who want to attack them and leave the space at the back.
Yeah, I don't know the way Eddie Howe's going to play it. If he's sensible, he will adjust his game to play against our weaknesses, which is he will sit back and he will try and break. But I don't know if they've got the pace for that, really. So I think Eddie Howe, he's quite stuck to his guns in the way he plays football. He likes to play his football. And if he does that, that means there'll be more attacking, which will leave space for us. And that's the way we like to play football, because as far as I'm concerned, in Ollie's defence, I think he's recognised our best attribute at the moment is our defence, and by quite a long way. Our midfield's very weak. Our attack without Martial is fundamentally, it's also weak. So he's using the defence to his advantage. So I don't completely agree with the way he's doing it, but he is doing it. And it seems to be working in a way, even though it's not entertaining and it's not the football we're looking for. if he's doing this as a development thing in terms of, right, we are solidifying the defence first, and then we're going to build the midfield and the attacks there, then he's going in the right direction. But the results have got to come as well, which is what he hasn't got, and the performances have been poor. But I think he's working from the defence, and our attack, they can do the damage. I think we can win today by 1 goal.
Tom Hodgson says, I wanted to donate just to say thanks for the hard work and commitment you've put into the channel over the years. Grateful for the content. Thanks for that, Tom Hodgson. Ollie's on the screen at the moment, actually, but I do think that the way that the team has been structured today, there is nowhere to hide for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I've been very unimpressed with Ollie using injuries as an excuse. He actually irritates me when I see his face at the moment, because I don't like the way he's used injuries as an excuse. I think that will work on the thick fans, but that any fan with a brain will know that using injuries as an excuse when you bought no midfielders is, it's ridiculous. You've brought it on yourself. And actually, who's been injured? Martial and Pogba. You cannot, as a size of Manchester United, you can't moan about injuries when you're Manchester United and you're missing 2 players. So that's irritated me with Ollie. I think he has made poor excuses that if he wasn't Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and he was Jose Mourinho, he would have been absolutely abused for. And I don't condone the abuse, but he would have. Mourinho got it. So the great thing about today is, he has no excuses with his team. All right, Young shouldn't play, but that's on him anyway. If we don't win today, I feel that everything is on Ollie, because he can't hide behind having players out. Pogba, yeah, but Pogba, no, in some ways. Pogba's inconsistent. So I think it's going to be very, if we go and win today, which I expect, then that can only be a good thing for Ollie. But if we didn't win and we played badly, then I think it would expose what some people fear is that he's tactically not that good anyway. So I think the good thing about the team today is there are no excuses. It will just be a game of a good coach, Eddie Howe, with inferior players, against Ollie with better players. He should go and win.
Yeah, I think he should do. Yeah, there's tons of stuff that I could go in on Ollie for over the past weeks and months, but I don't really want to do that at the moment. I want to, he's put the best team out he's got. I want to try and judge him on this game alone today, because, as you say, we're only missing Pogba, truly. He had the choice of Williams, he didn't play him, so there's no excuse in terms of if Young messes up. So this game, if we draw and we play well, then I won't be upset. If we win and we play rubbish, you can't be upset. But it's a performance I'm looking for. It's the way we're playing, the development of the team, the development of the body of work the team does, interplay between players and relationships. The result, I think we'll get it today, but I really want to see a good performance against Bournemouth, because they're going to leave space for us to run into, and that's where we can really take advantage. I'm just really looking forward to it. Frederick Larson, I'll come back to your comment in a minute, but I am really looking forward to it, because I just feel that there are no excuses. There is only Pogba to come back. We can't hide behind transformation, patience, bollocks like that. This is a mid-table team with pretty much our best team, and if we don't win, we'll have to open our eyes up to maybe the coaching's not good enough, or maybe these players are not good enough. And that's all I want. I just want to see how good United are without excuses. And if Bournemouth beat us, then a lot of these players would have to be scrutinised as not being good enough, and maybe the same with the coaching. But I expect us to win as well. Frederick Larson says, what about a 4-game ban for diving to force players to play soccer and not applying for a job at Hollywood? That reminds me, actually, the link is in the video description. You can win a Manchester United shirt. I should have said this yesterday. There's a video link in the video description for 888 Sport where they're talking about whether you should get a red card for diving. All you've got to do is go on that video, get in the comments and say, I'm here from the United stand, and whether you think you should get a red card for diving, and then you will go in the draw to win a Manchester United home shirt. So very, very easy to do that. Link in the video description. But make sure when you leave your comments on that video, you say, I'm from the United stand, which will then get you into their draw. Score prediction, Paul. I haven't asked you about that. What do you think? 2-1. I think Martial will get a brace, to be honest. Probably a penalty, but I think we'll win by 1 goal. I don't know how much. It could be 1-0 or 2-1, but I think we'll win by 1 goal, because we're not scoring enough goals prolifically at the moment for me to say anything more than 2 goals. But yeah, I think we'll get a win.
We need to create chances. I was talking to somebody in the week, and they said, to be honest with you, not creating chances in games is probably the same in training, because they're up against people like Wan-Bissaka, so they probably don't get many chances created. But we do need to create chances, and I think that is something that's been running through the club as far back as Van Gaal, well, and Moyes. This has pretty much been the problem since Sir Alex Ferguson left. And I think if and when... I hear people say we need to start creating more chances, but it's not that simple. You don't press a button and create more chances. You will create more chances the more risks you take. And I think what people need to open their eyes up to is the reason we're not creating many chances under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is because he's defensively... he's too focused on defence. You know, we do play 2 CDMs. We do play quite deep. And that's why we're not creating chances, because we don't stretch teams enough. We want to hit teams on the break, but if you come up against a team that doesn't want you to hit them on the break, like we did with Newcastle and West Ham, you've then got to play your way through, which is very, very difficult when you've got defensive line that's quite deep, 2 CDMs that are quite deep, and you've got 3 forwards and a number 10 against 8 defensive players. It's very hard to do it. So I don't think it's going to happen overnight, Paul. I mean, I don't know what your feelings are about creating chances, but I just think it's a mindset that Ollie has, and until he changes that, we won't do it. He is and has this very weird synergy of high press and counter-attacking philosophy, which I still to this day don't know how that works, but because it's totally hypocritical. But we won't. I don't think we will become a team that creates loads of chances until we're a team that goes on the front foot, like we did against Norwich, though.
Yeah, we're quite contradictory in that way, aren't we? I mean, we high press, but we're counter-attacking. Ollie's always talking about bravery and attacking, but we play with 2 centre defensive midfielders. So, do you know, how long have we been going on about it for, Mark? Even under Jose, do you even still know what our identity is and what our style of play is? Because, you know, the contradictions are there for everyone to see. I can't figure it out. I really can't figure out how exactly we're going to play. But what I can say is our movement is still very, very poor. We're very stagnant in terms of when we get up to the final third against teams that sit back. We got a line of 3 up against the defence that just stand there and wait for the ball. There's got to be more runs. If you watch Leicester the other day, Leicester's movement was fantastic when they smashed, who was it, 9-0? Their movement, their intricacy and their interplay was great. Whereas ours, I don't know whether it's because we don't push enough people up near the box or because of the 2 central defensive midfielders sit back, but our movement's got to be better, and Martial helps with that, as you say. His movement has racked up a notch, so I think that's going to help.
Meb3rd says, I will be positive about Ollie for a change and say he's a better manager than Corbyn would be as a Prime Minister. Political, but it's a super chat. Levi Pegler says, is Mourinho abuse reflective of how people are too hard on Mourinho, not that they're too easy on Solskjaer? Are we all too hard on big personalities? We're too hard on... Well, I don't think we were too hard on Mourinho at all. I think Mourinho's... I find it funny how time is a great healer and people are sympathetic towards Mourinho. When we were living it a year ago, everyone wanted him gone, quite rightly. So I've got no sympathy with Mourinho. He deserved the sack. I'm glad he's gone. The reason Ollie doesn't get scrutinised as much as Mourinho or Van Gaal or Moyes is because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a club legend and we love Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So it allows us to give him the benefit of the doubt a lot. But the reality is, and I give him the benefit of the doubt a lot, I do. I think if he wasn't Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I probably would be Solskjaer out. But he has said things that I don't agree with. They irritate me. But ultimately, whatever he says, if you're delivering on the pitch, that's where you're going to live and die, really, Paul, isn't it? He's got to deliver on the pitch, and he's got a great opportunity with what's happening with United after today, with Brighton at home and Sheffield United and Villa in November. If he gets through this result with 3 points, he should effectively then be taking another 9 points before December, and that will put us in a healthy position with the way other teams are dropping points. Although, having said that, the top 4 are very, very consistent, and they are starting to move away. Yeah,
this is a huge 5-6 games for Ollie, because they're all winnable, all of them. I mean, every game's huge. Every game we talk about is the next game is huge. They all are. They're all 6-pointers for Ollie because he's fighting for his life. Don't get it twisted. He's always on the precipice. 2 losses in a row, and the pressure ramps up on him, and you can see it in his face as well. The difference between him after losing and him after winning, you can just see it in his face, the relief. I can see what he's working towards. But this is a question for you, Mark. Do you know, the end game, Ollie's end game, say in 18 months' time, if it is counter-attacking football and playing like we used to play as United, wingers tearing down the sides and, playing with less possession, is that sustainable? Is that something we can continue doing for years and years, or has football moved on? I mean, is Ollie's end game still out of touch with the football that's being played today? It's quite a broad question, but I think it's quite relevant.
I think I can sort of answer it from what we were talking about before. I think that the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a manager who goes in spurts. I think we can already see that. 3 months in, couldn't stop winning. The next 6 months, very, very poor. I think at the moment, he will win today, and then he'll win every game in November, and then he's had another spurt of winning. Then we'll play Man City and probably lose, and over Christmas we'll probably go through a bad period. Then he might have a good, I think he's going to be that sort of manager. He needs to find consistency like some of our players do, but whether he can do that, I don't know. I think he's a momentum manager, and I think when things go bad, they stay bad, and then when they go good. With regards to the way we're playing football, I mean, you said it a few minutes ago, what is our philosophy, what is our best formation? At the end of the day, we're enjoying the positivity of winning a game from a penalty and a wonder free kick. We created nothing in that game and we're all positive, and I've got nothing wrong with that. I'm positive as well. But with regards to formation and the way we're playing, I had this argument with someone last night. They were being very positive, and I said, I don't like the way we play. As a football fan, I hate it. We're defending, and then basically we're having about 5 minutes of a 90-minute game where it's exciting, and then the rest of it's just boring defensive, and we're hitting teams on the break. I don't want that. You look at what Liverpool do.
Who does that remind you of, Mark?
Yeah, well, it reminds me of Mourinho. It reminds me of Van Gaal in many ways. It's just boring possession for no points. I want Manchester United to play a game of football where they try to dominate the ball. And dominate the ball by creating chances. That's what I want. I think we're very far away from it at the moment, though. I mean, Anup says, sorry if this is discussed already, just joined on any other updates on the Saudi takeover. The updates I have are from Manchester Evening News that Manchester United are bewildered by the news, that they were over there to discuss further investment from Saudi Arabia, which has been going on for the last 2 years, and that there's no purchase of the club. Unfortunately, you have got people out there saying, oh, I know someone and it's been done. Well, there is nothing out there from anybody I know or any people I know who know anything. So don't expect it to be announced on Monday morning like some people do. I don't think it's going to happen. I just think it's sad, really, how it's, you're playing with people's emotions because we all want to get rid of the Glazers. Quality on the ball will make.
Do you want my opinion on it, Mark?
Yeah, go, Paul. Yeah.
Difficult one, very, very difficult. I don't really know how to feel about it, to be honest. Apart from it's rubbish. The current story is absolute bobbins, mate. It's not going to happen. I mean, you don't just some dude on LinkedIn leaks that Man United are going to be sold. I mean, that's not the way it happens. If it happens, it gets announced. No one knows about it. It's simple as that. So at the moment, they're going to come out with some toilet brush deal from Saudi Arabia, which is going to be worth millions. Glazers are going to bin that money, and we're going to be back to square one. Apart from we're going to have egg on our face for wanting oil money to dig us out of a hole, when all we do is bin City for it. So, the divisiveness of this particular purchase, if they did take us over, would be, I don't know, it would be difficult to cope with. But at the moment, it's not happening. It's not happening. When it does, we'll deal with it, but at the moment it's farcical, really, in my opinion anyway, in my own opinion.
It just shows, though, that the United fans are willing to expose themselves as absolute hypocrites on a story that's not true by saying, please hashtag Saudis in, which was trending on Twitter last night. I don't care, I just want oil to make us big again. And Man City fans will be there laughing their heads off because, one, we're not going to get the oil money, so it's egg on our face. Two, we've spent 10 years mocking them for oil money. It just makes us look even more idiots. But I feel sorry for those people because I want the Glazers gone as well. They're so desperate to get rid of the Glazers. Of course, we're going to take a billionaire from Saudi Arabia. That's their feeling. But the problem is the story's not true. It's not going to happen. So everyone's getting excited and exposing themselves as hypocrites for a story that's not true. And it's the people who feed the fire with that, And as I said, one of them is a fan camera on the United stand saying, "I know for a fact it's true." You don't know fucking nothing, and you all your followers, are hanging on your word, getting excited, going to sleep with a smile on their face, and something else maybe making them more excited. I don't know, but it's bollocks. That person does not know anything because it is not out there. And even if it was going to happen on Monday, it's not out there anyway. But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Mark, the thing is, Liverpool is the example. They've turned their club around in 4 years with proper structure, proper management, proper football management, good investment, good selling tactics, buying the right players, creating a culture at the club, synergy between the fans and the board and the manager and the players. And they've done this with a net spend of £74 million. Oil money is not the answer. We generate enough money as a club to sustain a Premier League challenge every single year. That money's got to be used in the right way and not bled dry by the owners. Now, even with the owners bleeding them dry, we've still put £800 million into recruitment over the last however many years. That, again, should be enough to sustain a Premier League challenge every year. It's the structure of the club. Everything always boils down to, why would we need to sell to the Saudis? Yeah. The Saudis will still make money from United and buy players. It's the structure. Liverpool have done it in 5 years. Why is it we can't? Because we've got Ed Woodward in charge of everything. Now, Saudis aren't the answer, in my opinion. Restructuring the club under the Glazers would work, won't happen, but it's a rock and a hard place.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Simon Howden says, I think the way the team is so confident driven is critical for us to get the first goal. And Tom Ball says 3-1 United, 2 for Martial. United aren't being bought by the Saudis. Glazers make serious bank. Watching from Manila again with Krish. Early kick-off suits us. Good for you, Tom. And Meb Third says, if the Saudis did take over, we better not say that Woodward deserves the chop. They may take it the wrong way. Good bit of banter in there. But no, I mean, Paul's spot on. And I think it's very important to remember that, because the Saudis clearly aren't going to be buying us. It's just some silly rumour. But all is not lost, because actually Manchester United should be winning now. We have the money, we have the profit lines, we have the status, we have the fan base. What we don't have is decent ownership. And Liverpool are a bad example in some ways, Paul, because we make more money than them. So, it should be even easier for us to do it. But the problem is we were bought on debts by businessmen who don't support the football club, who put a person who bloody helped them do that deal in Ed Woodward there, and it's just about money, money, money for the shareholders and the owners. And that's what we're a business for people who don't care about the club. They just want to put money in their pocket. That's the problem. As a business, why do you think they bought Manchester United? They bought Manchester United because we make a lot of money. It was a golden egg for them, and they were allowed to do it by the Premier League, and it should never have happened. But the reality is, we already make the money to be successful. This is the frustration for most United fans. We're already got things in place. We don't need to build our fan base. We don't need to build a new ground. We don't need to build a new squad. Well, we do. We don't need to build massive new profit lines. We've got it all. We've just got owners who don't want to do it properly. They want to keep their mate Woodward in place, who knows nothing about football. It's a problem. It is a problem. But just quickly back to the game, Paul. We'll get you on at half time as well.
Definitely.
The match is on BT, Mark Whitson. Wait, can anyone remember? You might remember well as Paul. When did we play Bournemouth last year? Because I came into this game exactly the same. We were a little bit worried that we might lose if the game doesn't go our way. I thought Bournemouth played well, but we were clinical. And Bournemouth, for me, are a good example of a mid-table side. But I think Bournemouth will play well, but they don't scare me. I don't think they're clinical enough in the final third. And we have got a good defence, and I think that's what will be key. And that's why I'm confident we're going to win.
Yeah, I think it's going to be moments again for us, which I don't think is sustainable, but it's working for us at the moment. As in, we're going to defend well. We're not going to concede many goals, if any. Rashford and Martial is going to put out an excellent moment, which we get a goal from or two. And from those, we're going to win the game. But as an overall, I want an overall performance today. I want the midfield playing forward through the lines, Martial receiving, James and Rashford running off Martial, good movement in the box. All the stuff that we've wanted to see under Ollie since he took over. Well, actually, we did for the first 17 games of the season. We won it back. I think we'll win. I think Martial will brace. But I just want to see that performance we're all hanging out for, just to give us hope and momentum, and also players' confidence that they can do it. But I'm positive. I am positive. I think Bournemouth, they're going to leave the gaps, and we're going to turn them over.
I just got to say, though, I'm just looking at the players in the tunnel here. Ashley Young stood at the head of the line with the captain's armband. This is the only issue I have with United. Not only should he not be in the team, but leading the team out. I just don't get what Ollie's doing there. He is a liability. He is an okay right winger who plays as a bloody left back, and I just can't stand Ashley Young. It's nothing personal. He is the one player that I know look in that team, and it irritates me because. Why is Brandon Williams not actually playing? We've been told by this manager, I'm all about the youth. I'm all about the youth, and they're ready. Well, you played Wan-Bissaka on Sunday and on Wednesday, and you played him on Saturday. You played Brandon Williams on Wednesday. Why can't he play on Saturday? The performance he put in on Wednesday against Hudson-Odoi and Reece James, who are very, very good players, he should start today. And we bring Ashley Young back in. I think it just sends the wrong message for me. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think you should go.
Simple as that. Paul, I'll get you on at half time, mate.
You still there? Sorry, I cut out.
Yeah, you cut out.
Yep, all right. Catch you in a bit.
Catch you in a bit, mate. Right, we are literally about... Well, actually, we're 5 minutes away from kickoff. I thought we were about a couple of minutes. So make sure you smash a like on the video, everybody. We have hit 575,000 subscribers, which we've hit that a little bit earlier than I was expecting. So thanks, everybody who has subscribed. If you've not subscribed, bottom right-hand corner, please do subscribe. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got fan cams, match reactions, previews, transfer news, any breaking news. United are being sold to the Saudis, potentially news, you know, everything on the United Stand. We've got a fantastic community. We're live, obviously, for every game as well, and at 8 o'clock. So get involved in the chat wherever you are in the world. We are the United Stand, the biggest Manchester United fan channel in the world, and we are a worldwide channel. None of this local fans are better nonsense. Everybody's welcome on here. So subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner, and get involved with the conversation, or just sit back and enjoy the conversation. Ali K says Young is our leader, please back him. No, and a big fat no. I don't like him as a footballer. As a person, I think he's probably all right. I don't know whether he is. Maybe he's not. But as a footballer, I can't stand the guy. And as a captain, I can't stand him. The United app has used the weather as an excuse, says Carl. It's raining in Bournemouth. I mean, Flex spoke to me. He'd be down doing the fan cams, actually. And Flex said that it's very windy and wet down south. Sounds good. Shout out to all the Australian viewers, says Luca. And remember, if you want to get hold of a United Stand t-shirt like this and you want to look cool, because this is sort of an adoption of the sort of Stone Roses artwork with the Manchester is red adored. We've also got the green and gold United colours of Mancunia. We've got the class of 92. We've got United. We've got the 1999 t-shirt as well. The link's in the video description for those. Get yourself a t-shirt. United Stand. Very, very good, and will make you look very much better than you do already. Links in the video description for that. Also, you can win a United home shirt. You can win a United home shirt with 888 Sport. The link's in the video description. All you've got to do is go over to that video and leave a comment saying, I'm from the United Stand, and just put what you think about whether you should get a red card for diving. That's all you got to do, and you will go in the draw. But you will only go in the draw if you go on the comments of that video and say, I'm from the United Stand. Do it. It's free to do, and you might win yourself a United shirt. Simple as. My score prediction, Covert. A lot of people very interested in my score predictions these days because the last two, I've not only predicted the score, I've not only predicted the result, I've predicted the score. I predicted just before kickoff that we would beat Chelsea 2-1 when I saw the team news. And I also predicted ahead of the Norwich game that we would win 3-1. So I'm going for a hat-trick. I'm going to go with 3-1 to United. I do think people who are saying 2-1 United have got that. I'm tempted to change, but I'm going to stick. I'm going to stick with 3-1 United. So can I make it a hat-trick of not predicting the result, but also picking the scoreline as well? Very hard to pick scorelines. I mean, really, it is a leap of faith. But it is raining a lot in Bournemouth. I can see a trumpet player getting very wet. And I think he's struggling to play it a bit, but I can't hear. Remembrance weekend as it is. I think Remembrance weekend's next weekend, isn't it? Is it the 11th day of the 11th hour of the 11th month? I've got that in wrong. But minute silence for that. If I'd known, I would have stayed quiet myself. I'm sorry for that. United playing in gold today. Shame it's not green and gold until it's sold. That would please a lot of people. It's all of November. Yep. Okay. So we're getting close to kickoff. We're probably about 30 seconds away from kickoff. Can Dan James get us another penalty? Can he do it? Let's find out on the United Stand. Watch along. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. Get your score predictions in. And also, with your score predictions, tell us where you're watching from. I think that's always it's always interesting for me to be nosy. Got my Levi's on. Come on, United. Stuck £5 on your prediction at 18-1, says Robert Brennan. I tell you what, if you are a gambling person, 18-1 for 3-1 win for United. I hope it comes in, Robert. I really do. Why not? Could happen. Do you honestly think... Sorry, I've got to go back to that. We've got people watching from everywhere. Do you honestly think United will sign anyone this January? If so, who, says David Keller? It's very difficult. It's very difficult to sign somebody in January who's good. So I think that I'm not... I hate the bloody pitch angle at Bournemouth. I've just realised. They actually don't have two tiers. It's such a small place. It's such a small ground. They don't have two tiers, so the camera's a lot lower on the pitch. I'd sell Lingard for a packet of crisps, says McNally145. Please do... Oh, I forgot to say as well. Timer should be working. It is. Please do, if you haven't subscribed, bottom right-hand corner, give it a click. And also, can you please share the video? There is a share button underneath. You can share it on Twitter and Facebook. It's just one click, and it just helps the channel grow. So thanks for that, if you could do. We've had an early offside here, but we've got a female linesman. Well done. Always good to see diversity in sport. I wonder if we'll ever see a female manager of a men's football team. I think that's coming in the next few years. And Vika Bika says, look ahead, guys. Sign Haaland and get Odegaard on a rent for 6 months in the window. Get rid of the deadwood. The future looks bright for Ollie. I would love to see us sign Haaland in the summer. In January, sorry. I think that is a deal that we could do. But United getting pressed here. And Bournemouth, to be honest with you, are playing very, very high up the pitch early on, which is interesting because I think that will play into United's hands big time if they play high up the pitch. But what Bournemouth tend to do is they play a 4-4-2, and that's quite interesting because there will be people in the live comments who have been saying over the years, why don't we play a 4-4-2? And I always say 4-4-2 doesn't work in the modern game, but Bournemouth do play a 4-4-2, and they play a very narrow 4 in the midfield without the ball. And the two up front occupy the two centre backs. So lots of freedom for the wing back, for the full backs for United. But McTominay nearly slipping in Dan James there, and Pereira. It is a very difficult pitch. So there are excuses, but it's the same for both. Bournemouth players aren't playing in some wet-proof suit with wet-proof boots. It's the same for both players, and it means United are going to have to graft. And it'll be a bit messy. Love the channel marks to Stephen Down. FT McMurray Canada. Leslie Lai says that Bournemouth never park the bus. I'm not saying that they park the bus, but they will. If I was a manager playing Manchester United, what I would say to my team is, when we've not got the ball, don't do something like this. Dan James is in here, into the box. Cross comes in. That should be 1-0. Oh, it was a lovely cross, and it was into it should be 1-0. But this is what I mean. Bournemouth already, and Paul was right when he was talking, Bournemouth are leaving themselves wide open at the back there. Dan James is in, down the right-hand side, cuts it lovely across the box. It's a lovely cross. It's into the path of Pereira, and he bloody misses it. You would have thought it was Lingard. He totally doesn't even make a connection, and it should have been 1-0. How can you pre-match broadcast with talk about the opponent? Roya, I don't even understand what that comment's about. It makes no interest. It makes no sense. But very, very good opportunity for United there. And Bournemouth playing a high line, which I say, they seem to want to press United. And Dan James nearly getting in again. If I was their left back, Rico, I'd be saying, bloody hell, I'm getting exposed here. Young lad Wilson on loan from Liverpool is quality, says Alex Prentice. But this is encouraging for United because Bournemouth are playing a high line when they've got the ball, and United are there just trying to get in behind. But a good chance, it was a good created chance by Dan James. There was no connection from Pereira. But United looking far more confident. There's an overlap ball to Young there if Martial wants to take it. He's took too long there. You've got to move the ball quicker there, Tony. He's done well there, though. Into Rashford. Gets it back into James. This is good, intricate play. And Bournemouth will clear it. Encouraging start by United. It's fast-paced. And you know what? Traditionally is not even the word. When I used to play football through all age groups, I loved a game like this today, where it's wet. You know, you can fly into some tackles. This is what football's all about. And as I say, there's no excuse with the weather. It is what it is for everybody. Lovely little link-up play between United here. Rashford to Martial to James, and then he's on his feet, but he just can't quite get the return. My back's hurting, everybody. I'm going to have to stand up. Oh, I've only had 5 minutes. Me bloody back. Oh. I normally turn the camera off for this, but you're going to have to watch it grinding. Oh. Could be a few of those today. I don't know why my back's playing up so bad. Lower back pain when you're not even 40. God, can't wait for my 60s. Martial's in the box. Ake is there, but all United at the moment, which is good. First 5 minutes, putting the pressure on, exciting build up. It's amazing how we look so much better with Martial, and there's a very interesting stat that should make Manchester United fans feel a lot more comfortable in their seats, or standing up, or lying down this Saturday lunchtime, and that is this: with Martial in the team, our win percentage is 77%. With Martial not in the team, it drops to a 28%. Bournemouth on the attack here. Wan-Bissaka there with the block as per usual. Piss off! Keep ringing me when United are playing up yours. Martial. Get a shot away, Tony. Oh, it's along the ground. Good start from United, this. Good start. Weak shot, says Sophie. Martial's scoring today, says Kuroskas. I think when Martial plays, I feel that he will score every game. I have that feeling, which is why I'd said I think he can outscore Aubameyang. Unfortunately, missing 8 games has probably made that very hard to do, unless Aubameyang gets a reciprocal injury. But Mark, now that Disney own Marvel, Disney and Fox, it's time they add United Stand to their entertainment business. Who was that from? Zayn Miasi. Here's Dan James coming down the right-hand side. Pereira. Oh, he got greedy and went for a shot, and it's over the bar. United looking lively. United are looking very lively. It's on BT Sports in the UK, says Sally Devil Red 7. She's absolutely right. Very small ground. Very small ground, Bournemouth. You think you can only get about 11,000 people in it. Which is stunning for a Premier League club. But if United continue this way, I think we'll get the 3 points. You just got to just keep that momentum up. And it's Martial on the attack again into Dan James. Can he get a cross in? Good cross. Oh, Fred on the back post. United really lively. Really lively. Good start. I love how United passed the ball through Bournemouth's midfield to Gabriel Akari. It's much, much better from United. It's a total contrast to what we have been seeing with this negative style of football. Enjoying it. Zayn Massey must be mentored. Yeah, really good, quick rotation of the ball from United. Bournemouth not in this game at all at the moment, and it's easy on the eye as well. You know, we actually are pushing forward against the team, and this is good. You know, this is something I would take as a real positive as a United fan. That the way that we're playing on the front foot, the way that we're looking to move the ball quickly, Bournemouth are struggling with that, and I mean, Eddie Howe. Look, is there an element of naivety from Eddie Howe? I've said this before. They're trying to press us high up the pitch, which is leaving space in behind. But United have adapted to this game a lot quicker than Bournemouth have. No clear-cut chances yet, but a good start from United. Mark, watching you from Horwich from work, says Paul Roscoe 11. Good. It's always nice when you're in work, not working, isn't it? Not that I've ever done that, actually. I did it loads to any of my ex-bosses. Up yours. When I was on nights, sometimes I used to watch a film. There we go. But it's nice to be at work and not work. Saturday morning was always an easy job wherever I worked, actually. No, hardly anyone in the office. Put your feet up. Last 5 minutes, 71% possession for Manchester United and 29% possession for Bournemouth. It's United all over. Oh, hello, mate. How are you today? Looks like a decent game so far, says Humi. I'm very well, Humi. How are you? Poor kick out by De Gea there. Bournemouth have got it back. But Bournemouth... who's the number 29 for Bournemouth in the middle? He just looks too big and... doesn't look good on the ball at all. It looks like a player that you can really get at. Everybody... To be fair, though, everybody's first touch is going to struggle in a game like this. Kevin Boateng says, is Zayn Mayasi the Saudi prince? There's the conspiracy. He's just won a flick on there, though. Starting to believe Walk should manage United. Genius, says Khalil Zuhal. I don't know what makes you think that. Apart from the finishing so far, looks a good day, says Rahul KN. Fred's gone down injured here, which hopefully it's just a facial injury. I think it's a facial injury. Yeah, we don't want it to be anything else. Yeah, he just caught one in the face. He'll be fine. We don't want any leg injuries. Remember, if you want to win a United home shirt, 888 Sport are giving one away through the United stand. All you've got to do is go to the link in the video description, which is a video about should you get a red card for diving. Go to the video. You don't have to watch all of the video. Go to the video. Go to the comments and say, hi, I'm from the United stand, and then whether you think you should get a red card for diving. You will then go in the draw to win a United home shirt. They will be picking it from the comments, but they're only going to pick people who say, hi, I'm from the United stand. So it's very easy. It'll take you a minute or two. Probably less than a minute, actually. Just go to the link in the video description, put your comment in, say, hi, I'm from the United stand, this is what I think, and you're in the draw to win a home shirt. Very, very easy. And you know, you've had some period of playing well. We're pressing high up the pitch. It's a dodgy ground. It's a dodgy day weather-wise, and Bournemouth have offered nothing in the first 10 minutes, so their fans are already going to be dropping off. United on the front foot. I don't think Bournemouth have got the players to hurt us anyway. I think we'll be fine. I think some people had a bit of problem with lag there. Apologies. It is live. Sometimes it cuts in and out, doesn't it? Maddie, go and tell your sister that if she's online, get off bloody Netflix, because I've had a couple of lags.
I'm not even on Netflix.
Not you, your sister. Bournemouth on the attack here. McTominay. I did watch the rugby, Tracy. I'm not thinking about rugby now till the Six Nations. I'm not a massive rugby fan, actually. United are on the attack here, but nothing much happening. I'm not a massive rugby fan. I don't know all the rules in rugby, but I can certainly watch it. What I would say about that final is, well done to South Africa for winning it, but what a boring final up until the last 10 minutes. I just was like, you know what? It's not a good advert for rugby, is it, when it's being won on collapsed scrums? It was just a boring final. I mean, I wish the final had been England-New Zealand, because New Zealand want to play rugby, England want to play rugby, but South Africa, I mean, it was just boring, winning it on the scrum. You can't knock South Africa for winning it that way. They saw an advantage and they bloody well took it, but it was boring. It was a boring final. Jesse says, should we sell in January? There's a certain Jesse I'd like to see sold, to be honest with you. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new. The game settled down a bit in the last 5 minutes. I thought the first 10 minutes United were fantastic, but this last few minutes, it's gone a bit 50-50, which will be a bit annoying for United because I think from that first 10 minutes, we probably should have took a goal for it. But Bournemouth starting to grow into the game. It looks like it might have stopped raining a bit as well. Maybe Bournemouth just don't like the rain. They're trying to pass out from the back, Bournemouth. That's what they do. United pressing up high up the pitch there. And they have passed their way out the press there. I don't think Dan James was pressing enough there. And it has allowed Bournemouth to get up into our half. And that's what they need to do. Exploit Ashley Young. Too many teams, thankfully, go down our Wan-Bissaka side. And good little bit of play there from Bournemouth and a shot, and I think that will be a corner. Nice little bit of play from Wilson, who is called Harry Wilson, and he's a Scouser. He plays for Liverpool. He does well here. Watch how he leaves Ashley Young for dead. Crap. Absolute crap defender, Ashley Young. Yeah, please subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, live every night at 8 o'clock. Fan cams, call-ins, back on Monday. Previews, transfer news. Cross comes in from Bournemouth, cleared by McTominay. I'm a little bit worried how United have allowed Bournemouth back into this game. I felt like we had our foot on their neck, really, and we've sort of took it off a little bit. And Bournemouth come into the attack. Cross comes in. He should have cut that back. United get it clear. He's up in the air. And it's gone for a goal kick. I think Bournemouth were shouting for a penalty there, but I don't think there will be one. And that's probably the best chance of the game. Again, it's Ashley Young just absolutely exploited. He is such a weak link. Dominating the game. They run at Young twice and the momentum shifts. He's awful. Could have been a bloody penalty. That could have been a VAR penalty by Ashley Young. They're not checking it on VAR anyway. Good. It's not a penalty. But he's a liability. Young is an absolute liability. We have control of the game. They attack him twice, and they've got they get back into it. Well, I think Eddie Howe and Bournemouth have figured out how they can get back into this game. Pardon the pun, how they get back into this game. And that is to attack Ashley Young. But here's Rashford down the left-hand side, which I think is Rashford's better position. Lays it off. Fred, over the bar. Good from United, that was. Fred wants a corner, but that was good. That was good from United. Good play by Rashford, who seems to be improving his final ball distribution. He gets down the left-hand side. He cuts inside. Fred's coming in, lays it off to Fred, and it goes definitely for a corner. Mark, I think South Africa are the Man City of rugby, says Amy Assey. You clearly don't watch rugby, mate. They're the Inter Jose Mourinho of rugby. They're very, very, very efficient and clinical, but they're not easy on the eye. Looks like we can hurt them. I've enjoyed it so far, exploiting them with James. Hopefully we get a first half goal, says the perseverer. And let's hope United can persevere, because we did let Bournemouth back into the game a little bit. But we seem to have had a kick up the backside. This game's there to be won, and United just need to go and win it. Pereira now. And another corner for Manchester United. Pereira on corners. When are we going to see the Pereira corner and their Harry Maguire slab it straight in? When we bought him, I was just so looking forward to that happening, and surely at some point it will happen. He's so good in the air, Harry Maguire. At some point we've got to find his forehead with an Andreas Pereira cross. Is it to be about now? Andreas Pereira's cross. Oh, I thought it was going to be there. Cleared for the moment to Ashley Young. Awful pass into Fred. And Bournemouth fly in. Young's having an absolute nightmare at the moment. Here he is, Ashley Young. Pereira intercepted by Aki, trying to feed in Rashford. I tell you what, I think either United are playing really well, and I think they are playing really well, but free kick for United here. There's got to be goals in this game. There's got to be goals in this game. Harun Raymond says you're a fake United fan because you're from Nottingham. Harun, thanks for the comments. You can go and do one now. But the reality is, you've probably just spoken to 99% of Manchester United fans who are not from Manchester. You're a poor excuse of a human being, mate. I'd hate to be in your head. Cross coming in for Manchester United. Fred and Andreas Pereira over it. Can we find the head of Harry Maguire? Pereira's cross doesn't beat the first man. Drops. Oh, who hit that? Dan James. Bournemouth should have cleared it. Comes to Dan James on the edge of the box. Absolutely smashes it. You think it's going to go in. No, the keeper ain't going to save it. But it goes wide. Unlucky. How close was this? Oh, it's not far. It's about half a metre. It's moving away. He hits it so well. Just wide. And the keeper wouldn't have saved it. Brian Werner says it's a shame he missed that after the disgusting dive. I don't actually notice Dan James as a diver. I've got to be honest. I don't really notice it. I think there's always connection there. And if there's connection, he's got a right to go down. I don't think people understand what a dive is. To be honest, I think people think a dive is when you go down too easily. It's not a dive then. If there's contact, it's a foul. You can manipulate and simulate, but it's not. A dive is when there's no contact, is what I'm trying to say. Sophie's with me. Thanks, Soph, moderator. I don't notice the dives either. I mean, if people are trying to say it was a dive against Chelsea, there was connection. It was awful defending by Alonso. And the trouble is, in the modern game, if you try and stay on your feet, you lose your momentum. So where's the advantage? You know, you don't... Basically, Dan James against Alonso in midweek against Chelsea. If he'd stayed on his feet, he wouldn't have got to the ball, and the referee would have said play on. You have to go down to make the referee make a decision. I would tell my team that as well. Don't try and stay on your feet when you've been fouled in the box, because you'll lose your momentum, you probably won't get control of the ball, and you won't even get a free kick. You've got to go down and take the foul. That's not diving. Bournemouth on the attack here. It's gone a little bit end-to-end, this. First goal is key. I think if United get this first goal, they'll go on and win it 3-1, like I say. But they're looking to exploit Ashley Young a lot. I'm not from Manchester, but been a fan since '94. Proud and love the club, says Amma Hussein. Is Rashford into the box? Probably held on to that a little bit too long. But Dan James will pick it up on the other side of the box. He's probably going to have to go backwards to go forwards. Into McTominay. Now Wan-Bissaka. United have looked very good today, though. Very, very good. We've moved the ball about really quickly, and I think it's caught Bournemouth out. But this is where United struggle. We had the ball on the right wing with Dan James. We're now back on the halfway line, and Bournemouth have got everybody behind the ball. This is where United have not moved the ball quick enough, and Wan-Bissaka gives it away. We struggle to break teams down when we're not moving the ball quick. It is still raining. It's still raining. I mean, fair play to Eddie Howe's Bournemouth. They do like to try and pass the ball out. I don't actually like this, to be honest. I like a team to... that's a decent looking ball there. And Lindelof has done well to cut it out. And now Wan-Bissaka. And that's a poor pass, but Bournemouth will pick it up. A bit of play for Bournemouth now. And we'll clear it. Like a Ferrari hitting a dumper truck. Speed kills, says Stephen Dowd. Neymar is a diver, says Steve. Yeah, we've started the diving debate now. 23 minutes gone, 0-0 in this game. We don't want to draw today, that's for sure. We don't want to draw. If we want to win. Callum Wilson or Jamie Vardy, says Genwill Balandras. Definitely Vardy. I don't like these rumours of Callum Wilson to Manchester United. I just don't see. I don't think he's even that good. I think he's okay. He's not what. He's an Everton striker. That's his next move, not Manchester United. Just got in. How's the game and thoughts on the lineup? Says Harold Holst Firstvolt. United starting off very lively, and I think they should have a goal for the way they've started, but it's still 0-0. Lineup wise, very happy with the lineup apart from Ashley Young. He's the weak link. John Keon Kwan says, I am not a United fan. Bournemouth on the attack, they've got a corner. I am not a United fan, but enjoy watching your content a lot, and not in the way I enjoy watching Arsenal Fan TV. Keep up the good work, man. Thank you very much for the contribution. 25 minutes in, I feel that United probably should have built on the good start they've had. We've moved the ball quickly. We've played quite well, but Bournemouth have started to come back into the game. I thought Bournemouth in the first 10 minutes were poor, but here's a chance for United to break away from a corner with Dan James, go forward, not backwards, and I tell you what, unlucky there because the ball would have slipped in Martial. Rashford runs too much with the ball, says Biggie Third, and Williams is in for Young, says Varan Chanda, which I would totally and utterly agree with. I really would. Should have signed Vardy 3 years ago, says Daz Sweets. Please subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. Let's see how we're doing for subscribers. We're on 575,000, but we may be able to hit a new target today if they're doing all right. We're only 120 subscribers away from 575,500. So please subscribe, bottom right hand corner if you're new. Welcome to the channel. Fantastic community that we have here. Everybody's welcome. Most of our content is live and interactive. And we're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got fan cams coming up after the game, match reactions, previews, transfer news, all the debate, all the real conversation on the United stand. And Bournemouth are on the attack here, and they could slip somebody in on a one-on-one. Wan-Bissaka's got to hold him up. Gets the shot away. It's at the keeper. Good play. Fraser got the shot off. Didn't get much power in it. It's really raining at Bournemouth, and they did catch us out a little bit on the break. It's a nice little ball. If you're a defender, watch Wan-Bissaka here. Doesn't commit himself, and shows him onto his left foot, which is probably the weaker foot of that player there. But it's proper raining. And please do share the video as well. There's a share button underneath. If you can share it on Twitter and Facebook, that would be appreciated. Viggers says, Mark, why don't you go to games? I've never been able to find out. Why do you think I don't go to games as often as I used to? Because I do watch-alongs. That's the reason I don't go to games. It's a selfish choice against a channel choice. I could go and sit and watch a game with my phone in my pocket and never look at my phone and just watch a game of football. Or I can do a watch-along with 13,000 people watching, interacting with you lot. It's a choice I make, and some people would say it's a wrong choice, some people would say it's a right choice, but that's the choice. I haven't been to a game this season. I normally go to about 4 or 5. I haven't been to one this season, which is annoying. The weather is definitely affecting the quality of the game. There's some dodgy passes going on, but it's obviously very difficult. If we do end up signing a good striker, where would Martial fit into the team, says Raf? No. You've got that wrong, Raf. If we sign a good striker, they can sit on the bench. Humi says you could give free kick to the defence or penalty every single corner with shirt pulling, pushing, but nothing happens. If VAR did its job like the World Cup, it would soon stop and cut it out. I think that's a very good point from Humi. We've not seen that at all. VAR, I think, has been a bad thing for the Premier League, but we've not seen that at all from corners, like pulling of shirts and everything like that. The Premier League have basically done what the government want to do in England with Brexit. They want to come out of Brexit and make their own rules, and the Premier League want to have VAR but interpret it themselves. So we don't use VAR for like fouls in the box or anything like that. It's not used for that. It's basically just to check goals, check offsides, and the odd penalty. But This game's going a little bit flat at the moment. United need to go through the gears a bit. You know, get the goal, get in front. Then it can become scrappy. Patrick St. Pierre says, we very much appreciate the watch-alongs. Thanks, pal. And hi, Mark. I'm sat here watching the Reds with my wife, Paulina. We love your content. Please, could you give her a shout-out? It would make her day, says Dean Curlew. Well, there you go, Paulina. There's a shout-out for you. Everyone in the live comments, put Paulina in there. You'll make her day. Footy Sam says the game's going to get abandoned. Nah. Wan-Bissaka is limping slightly, says Hannah Dad. Well, if he is limping slightly, he's played 3 games in 6 days, hasn't he? Which is just silly. Bournemouth on the attack here. There's a lot of slipping going on the pitch. What's the weather forecast in Bournemouth? Because to be honest with you, if it carries on raining like this, they might call it off. I think it stopped raining at the moment. Groundsman will be doing his nutting. He'll be like, you're ruining my pitch. Would you swap Jones, Bay, Rojo for Ake? Says Dan O'Keefe. I'd swap Ake for Jones and Bailly because Bailly's injured, always injured. And yes, I would. I'd swap Ake for any of them. Nathan Ake for Bournemouth. I'd swap him for Jones, Bailly or Rojo. All 3. Thank you. Yeah. My score prediction was 3-1. After half an hour, it's 0-0, so it's not looking good. But I think quick goals could be scored. Mark, can we start calling Wan-Bissaka Wambo? Says Roger Miyagi. Spider one, I think that works best. But United on the attack here. It's gone a little bit flat at the moment. We're trying to force the issue. I think Bournemouth have figured us out a bit that they're not playing such a high line as they did in the first 10 minutes. We could do with the rain stopping. I think it'll make it a better game. I think it looks like it's stopped raining now. I think the way this game's gone now, United started off really well. Bournemouth have come back into it. I think if Bournemouth was to score a goal, it would be a real bad thing for United. I mean, obviously it would be a bad thing, but I just think the momentum of the game, having started off well, to then be going in 1-0 down at half-time, I think it would cause United problems. And there's a foul on Harry Maguire there. Midu Ayub says, Mark, sell or keep Luke Shaw. I don't know why people want to sell Luke Shaw, because even if Brandon Williams becomes our first choice left back, you need 2 left backs, and I think I like Luke Shaw, so I would definitely keep Luke Shaw at Manchester United. And the reality is, Ashley Young's still playing, so get rid of him before you move on to Shaw maybe after Young, but that's the player we need to get rid of. Xavier Daniel says he can see a draw. If you want to get hold of one of these t-shirts, it's a United Stand exclusive t-shirt. Adored Manchester is red. The link's in the video descriptions for that. United into the box with Martial. He's looking for a penalty. Rashford's looking for a penalty. And it's a corner. And I don't know what's... There's a bit of a fight going on here. It's all going off at the moment. And we'll see why. I think it probably... Whoa, it could have been a penalty. VAR might give a penalty. Yeah, I'll tell you what. That's more of a penalty than the Ashley Young one. Mark, if United get bought out by Saudis, will United Stand be part of the deal? Says Zayn Niassi. I don't think so. It's what's gone on afterwards here. Lemur. Good to see a bit of a scrap. Is Dan, Wan-Bissaka, McTominay the new trio? Says Phantom Comics. It's going to be a couple of yellow cards here. Should be a penalty. Is he going to give a penalty? Like that? I'm not bothered about the yellow cards. Shove your yellow cards up your arse, ref. Where's the bloody penalty? That's a joke if he doesn't give it. That is, I can't believe that has not been checked by VAR as a penalty on Martial. He fouls him and then gets the ball. That has to be a penalty. I can't believe it. Oh my life! We're playing on with a corner. Oh, for God's sake. Call me later, VAR. I'm busy. Well, I just don't get that. It's clearly a foul on Martial. It's definitely a penalty. United smell, says Brett Clements. I bet you're well happy making a contribution about that. Never a penalty in a million years. Well, clearly I've just said it was a penalty, so I disagree with you there straight away. And there are people saying a penalty. Some are saying it's not. Again, people are not understanding what a dive is. There is contact on Martial, so it's not a dive. I can't believe how many people don't understand what a dive is in football. A dive is when there's no contact. He contacts him, and Martial's got a right to go down. It's a penalty. And also, when he's there is an attempt by the defender to tackle Martial, and he doesn't touch the ball. He tries another tackle and does touch the ball. It's a penalty. I'm sorry. People who are saying not a penalty have never played the game themselves and don't understand what a dive is. A dive is when there's no contact on the ball. A dive is when there's no contact on the player in the simulation where they just dive. He touches Martial twice in his attempt to get the ball and doesn't get the ball. That's a penalty. It's a foul. There we go. Anyway, let's go and score a legit goal because we should be 1-0 up anyway. Pereira into the box. Goal kick. Mike Dean in charge of VAR today. No surprise, says Dan O'Keefe. Lequit says, I played the game. That's a dive. You didn't play the game, mate. You're a prat. Simple as that. You don't know how the game works. You could have won loads of penalties. He got the ball on the second tackle, Luke Beauty. He didn't get the ball with the initial attempt. Here it is. Doesn't get the ball there. Second time, gets the ball. It's just been watched it on the telly. The first impact, doesn't get the ball. The second impact, he does. Using your body to draw a foul is what Martial did, says Akil Kamal. Exactly. There's contact. I don't even know why people are debating and calling it a dive when he actually contacts Martial. There's two choices here. Dive isn't any of them. The two choices are no foul or foul. Dive is not part of the conversation because he contacts with him. Simple as that. So if you're saying dive, you're either a troll or an idiot. Either way, you're an idiot because there is contact. It's either foul or no foul. The dive is irrelevant because there is contact. Simple as that. Anyway, it's not been given. We move on. 38 minutes. Free kick for Bournemouth. What I would say, though, in fairness to people who are saying it's not a penalty and getting a period off it, the reality is we have had a lot of penalties this season. We can't become Manchester United. I do agree with that. We can't keep relying on penalties. And Zayn Miasi says Mark Bean would do a better job with VAR. Cross comes in for Bournemouth. Well up by Ashley Young. What a hit. What a block. That was a brilliant block by somebody. Cross into the back post. Martial will get rid of that. There was a good shot there. Cross came in for Bournemouth, drops to the edge of the box. Somebody smashed it, and Rashford's done really well there, but his ball is crap. Somebody smashed it, and there was a block, and I think it would have gone in. If they show it back. It was a really good block by somebody. But United, again, trying to hit teams on the break. We're very, very good at that. This game's there to be won. It could be a 1-0. Noel Ryan says he's just got back. How are we doing? Well, we've had 6 attempts, 1 on target. They've had 4 attempts, 2 on target. So I would say United have been the better team, to be fair, but we should be winning. Mike Riley, head of the referees, said they are getting 80% right. So you're still getting 20% wrong, even with the technology. Absolutely crazy, says Humi. Exactly. I mean, the reality is, VAR allows you to watch things that you may have got wrong in real time. When you watch that Martial thing back, VAR, I would love to know why they're saying it's not a penalty. Because you've got to work through the rule book. Is there illegal contact in the box? Yes. Why are you not giving a penalty? It's as simple as that. He you know, whether it's a butterfly's fart or a lion's bite, it's contact. And that's the point. Is there an illegal contact on the player in the box? Yes, there is. It's a penalty. Stop people doing stupid things in the box. VAR doesn't technically check for a penalty. They check for clear and obvious error by the referee. They deemed it wasn't clear and obvious, as Patrick St. Pierre. You see, that's what pisses me off, Patrick. Clear and obvious mistake. That's not what VAR is there for. VAR is there to tell you whether you've got a decision wrong. Not clear and obvious wrong, whether you got a decision wrong. And the Premier League, as I've said before, they're not checking for fouls in the box from corners where people are grabbing shirts. They're not really checking for dodgy fouls in the middle of the pitch. And they're only doing it for offsides on goals and if it's clear and obviously wrong. The reality is, I don't care about clear and obviously wrong. I want wrong. I want right and wrong. Not clear and obvious, I want right and wrong. Is it a penalty? Is it not a penalty? I can live with that. Clear and obvious is too subjective. Because what's clear and obvious to you might not be clear and obvious to somebody else. So the Premier League have brought VAR in and basically ruined it because they've put this stupid rule in about clear and obvious, which is always going to be subjective, and a referee's opinion is subjective. I never wanted VAR in the first place, but what I've said about VAR is that if you're going to use it properly, because a referee makes a subjective opinion decision on the pitch. They'll get right, they'll get wrong. But if VAR is then going to do subjective, clear and obvious, then you're going to get right, you're going to get wrong. Don't do clear and obvious, just do right and wrong. Was that a penalty? Technically, yes. You got it wrong, ref. Penalty. Not only it didn't clear and obviously get it wrong. Shove it up your arse. This is becoming like a FIFA game with no officiating, says Genwell Belendres. Zayn Miarsi says, Mark, this match is boring. I'm heading off to my date. I think these dates are fictional, Zayn, but enjoy it. Who goes for a date at 12:30? Unless you live in another country time zone. Papandu says, come on, Bournemouth. Bournemouth ain't winning this. They've been atrocious. They've been as bad as Norwich. You weren't saying that about the foul on Origi, says Daniel Kennedy. What foul on Origi? I don't watch Liverpool. What foul are you talking about? Date with his left hand. Oh. Well done, Ashley Young. You didn't make a mistake there. I think this is going to be 0-0 at half time. We need a number 10 badly. I think whoever said that, it whizzed by, but you're very, very good. You're very right. United. I think Pereira is okay, but he doesn't. I think we will see Lingard second half, and he's crap as well. Please subscribe if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, get involved in the United Stand. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got fan cams. We've got it all. So do get involved with that. Links in the video description as well. If you want to buy one of these Manchester United Stand t-shirts. We've got quite a range. But this is my favourite. The Adored Stone Roses Manchester is red one. Links in the video description for that. And subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Lots going on. Apparently we're going to get bought by the Saudis on Monday. We're not really, but people are getting excited. Humi says, in general, to me, it's either one or two things. Contact, it's a penalty, even if it's a feather. No contact, it's a dive. It can only ever be a penalty or a free kick and a booking. Can only be one or the other. Exactly. Well, no, actually, let me be honest. There is also the scenario where it was just, fair play. Well, actually, no, technically, I think you're right, Humi. Even I'm confusing the issue here. In that Martial situation... it's either a tackle play on a dive, yellow card, or a penalty. So there's 3 scenarios. Well, it wasn't a tackle. It wasn't a dive. It's a penalty. There you go. We've worked through it. So there's 3 scenarios. Fair tackle, dive, or illegal tackle. They're the 3 scenarios. And VAR bottles it by going, oh, it wasn't clear and obvious. Up your arse. Stick it up your arse. Tina Barrett 1-1. You can have a shout out. You've just had it. Stretching my back out. As you can see, the black t-shirt works well with the Levi jeans. They're not for sale through us. They're for sale via Levi. Bournemouth. We're nearly at half time. Lovely little ball in there from Bournemouth, and they might create a chance here just before half time. Cross comes in. Who's marking him? Bloody... Oh, no! No! Bloody hell! Who's doing that? Who's done that? That's terrible defending. You may as well go off to bloody Asda and do his shopping for him as well. That was terrible. How long? I think it's Harry Maguire. Or Lindelof. Oh, I don't believe that. I can't believe it. He's got all the time in the world. He's got all the time in the world. That is awful. Awful defending. That ain't it. Another kick in the balls for Manchester United. But I've got to see this back. He has all the time in the world. It should be a song. Louis Armstrong. All the time in the world. Cross comes in. He controls it on his chest. Oh, Wan-Bissaka tries to do something with it. But he controls it on his chest and lets it bounce. And then turns and shoots. It's terrible defending, that is. Wan-Bissaka. It's awful defending. Cross comes into King, controls it on his chest, lets it bounce, then knocks it over their head and scores. And it's just poor defending from Wan-Bissaka. All the time in the world. Louis Armstrong, 1-0 to Bournemouth. That is... I told you if they scored first, we'd be in trouble. We're in trouble. Nothing De Gea can do about it. And that's so disappointing. So disappointing. Right on half-time as well. And it's Wan-Bissaka. You know, we love Wan. Right on half-time as well. That is the half-time whistle. Sucker punch. Right before half-time. Bloody hell. Should have had a bloody penalty as well. Boo the ref, boo VAR, but that's poor defending from Manchester United. And it's 1-0, right on half-time. Right on half-time as well. Bournemouth have done nothing. Nothing. VAR does us over. Manchester United 1-0 down at half-time. Not creating chances and taking chances always bites back, says Philip Hisland. I mean, to be honest with you, Philip, this will bring out the negativity in United fans, but the reality is, that game, we haven't created anywhere near enough for the domination we had in the first half. We've been head and shoulder. First 10 minutes, it looked like we were going to win it 4 or 5-0. But we didn't create any chances, really. There was the cut back to Pereira, which he missed. But there's not really been that good chance. And we end the half with Bournemouth creating a chance where he can't miss. He can't miss that chance. How many chances have United created where we can't we can't miss? We don't create enough chances, and I think we've done okay in that half. But to go in at half time 1-0 down, that has to go down as a bad half for Manchester United. And I just, again, it's, you know, Wan-Bissaka's at fault for the goal, but it comes from the side of Ashley Young. Everything Bournemouth have done good in that half has come from the side of Ashley Young. He's useless. You may as well get a box of bloody Rich Tea biscuits and put them there and watch them soak in the rain. A waste of time that nobody can eat. Rubbish. Waste of time, Ashley Young. But Wan-Bissaka's got to do better. I mean, if you're in the penalty box, you control it on your chest, it goes up high in the air, it bounces, then you knock it over the head, and then he's had 4 touches in the penalty box. You cannot have that. And Wan-Bissaka's been amazing this season, so you've just got to go, oh, it's so disappointing. But you've also got to say he's at fault for the goal, but he's been so good for us this season. You can't go in on him any more than that, but he is at fault for the goal. Humi says switched off, rule number 1 of defending, clueless. And Mark Whitten says VAR needs to be run like TMO in rugby based on fact, not opinion. Well, look, I don't want to be that fan who's going on about the penalty because United have conceded a legit goal. But I think it should have been a penalty. But what I'm going to say is, look, I said there's 3 things. It's either a fair tackle, which it wasn't. It's either a dive, which it wasn't because there was contact, so it's a penalty. VAR is shit. If you're a Liverpool, Arsenal, City fan coming over to gloat, the reality is you will be in the same position as us. You've been in the same position as us. VAR is going to keep screwing people over. That should have been a penalty to United. However, what I would say is, when are we going to stop being Penchester United? All we do is score penalties to win games. Like, we can't keep relying on penalties. We've got to start creating chances. So in a way, I'm not happy that we didn't get the penalty, but I am happy because I'm like, we can't keep relying on penalties. Most teams in the world don't rely on bloody referees. You've got to go and score goals yourself, and we're not doing that. So at the end of the day, I think it was a penalty, but I'm not going to moan about it too much because the reality is, if you don't get the decision, if Man City or Liverpool don't get the penalty, do they put their hands in their pockets and moan around like, no, I didn't get a penalty? No, they go and create another chance and maybe they get another penalty or they score a goal. That's what we should have done. What did we do? We let them back into the game. Sharath Kamath Fitness and Scriptor says, I'm also thinking why Wan has to come to the centre-back position. That's Maguire's man, but still there's a decent goal to be fair. Shows we are a lucky team. Josh Sutton says, formerly Metal Music Reviews. Okay. You watch the conditions get blamed for a potential loss. Yes. And Red Baron, the Saudis buying out United. Every single billionaire has dirt on them. The Glazers funded Trump. Also the fact the USA government do deals to sell arms to the Saudis. Capitalism is the problem with football, like it or not. I don't think we will be sold to the Saudis, Red Baron, by the way. Harry's looking good, Mark. Come on, United, get the win, says Chasing. I don't know whether you're like 40 minutes behind and you haven't realised what's just actually happened. But yeah, just really, really, really poor. Ashley Young, I'm very happy with that team on my left today, but I did say when the team came out, the one thing that irritates me is Ashley Young. Why does he play for United? Williams could have played today. He doesn't need the rest. Wan-Bissaka's played 3 games in 6 days. So's Harry Maguire, so's Victor Lindelof, so's Scott McTominay, so is Fred. Are we now paying the price of fatigue in doing that? Does Wan-Bissaka look switched on today? I don't think he has looked switched on today. Do Fred and McTominay look as energetic as they did on Wednesday night? I don't think that they do. And Ashley Young is a liability. We should have played Brandon Williams. We've had 3 good chances and didn't hit the target, says Cobb Ross Aitkins. Josh Sutton, VAR is run by a man who will have a differing opinion to the field ref. Still a man-made error, which is why it shouldn't be. VAR, look, take it away from this game. VAR, for any club, so it needs to be consistent. And if it's going to be consistent, it needs to be letter of the law, not clear and obvious. Clear and obvious makes it a human decision. I don't want a referee on the pitch and a referee on VAR making the decision. I want a referee on the pitch and a computer making the decision. That's what I want. Technically, is it a penalty? Give a penalty. Technically, is it a good tackle? It's not a penalty. That's what I want. I don't want, well, it technically is a penalty, but it's not clear and obvious that the referee got it wrong, so it's not a penalty. That's not right. That is not right. And that's the world we're living in as fans now, which is why we're getting confused. If a referee doesn't give a penalty and we see it and it is, and VAR look at it and they go, it is technically a penalty, but he can see why he got it wrong, so it's not clear and obvious. No penalty. No, it should be a bloody penalty. That's why fans are getting fed up. Charles Crane says the first 10 minutes we had it right. Hope he can turn it around. We can't come out flat like every other second half. Big point there, actually, Charles. Big point. Second half, I don't think United have been good under Ollie. We've got to be good now. Delicate official, don't really know what Lindelof and McTominay are defending there. Last time I checked, Aaron Wan-Bissaka wasn't a centre-back. I don't know why he was there. I'm looking forward to seeing the goal again. Mark S says, watch the lead up to the goal. Ashley Young losing his man with ease, put us in that position. He's the left-back version on Lingard. And Red Devil says, if the Saudis buy our club, it would ruin it for me. We should rebuild through smart decisions and hard work, not bloody oil money. Glazers in from Red Devil. So let's watch it here. Lindelof loses his man. Maguire's sort of swapped with Wan-Bissaka. I don't know why Wan-Bissaka is marking him. But it comes down comes down Ashley Young's side. It's just movement. To be honest with you, it's just bad defending by Wan-Bissaka, I think. When Bournemouth attack, they have 5 players in the box, as Kevin Boateng. And I think that's absolutely spot on. I think that the reality is that the way Bournemouth have attacked, they've made it very, very difficult for Manchester United to pick up their men. You know, Wan-Bissaka's centre-back there. Harry Maguire ends up right back because he's staying with his man. Bournemouth have been very intelligent in the way that they've moved the ball. And United have not been able to deal with it. It's the difference between man marking and zonal marking. And to be honest with you, Harry Maguire's gone with man marking there and been pulled to right back, and Wan-Bissaka's come in to centre back. Realistically, I don't like that. I think realistically Harry Maguire should be staying in his position and Wan-Bissaka should be staying in his position. But what's happened is United have gone with the men and not with the zone. And that's why Harry Maguire's been pulled out of position. But does Wan-Bissaka need to try and tackle him in that position? It's a right back tackle, isn't it? It's poor defending. It's poor defending from from United, and it's poor defending from Wan-Bissaka, to be honest with you. But it makes it very, very difficult for United now, because we came into this game saying we needed 3 points today. It's going to be difficult for United to get 3 points, being 1-0 down at half time away from home. And that's the disappointing thing. I said before the game I didn't want this game to be a draw. At the moment, it looks like a draw could be a good result from a losing position. But I would go back to the same, and I want to get Paul on because I know I'm interested to see what he's got to say. But the same thing for me would be we don't create enough chances. And that's why we're losing this game, because teams are always going to create chances against you. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. Let me get my live comments on here. South Paul of Sport says, what did you make of Ollie's comments that the start of the season wasn't as bad, or that lately it hasn't been as good as everyone thinks? Especially says that everyone has overreacted to this season. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to protect Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and that's what he's going to do. The reality is it's not been a very good season for United. Welcome to Man United 84, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Paul, can you hear me?
Yeah, mate, you're right.
Yeah, give us your thought. Well, let me just... Hyde Herman says, hey, please give a shout out to Seeds and Shakes watching it at his garage in Thomastown. Yeah, the boys. Shuba, Hayder Main. Thanks, Hayder Herman. What are your thoughts on that, Paul, without me giving you any guidance? You've watched it. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, we look pretty, but we're toothless. We knock it around nicely between defence and midfield let us down. We haven't quite got the quality in there to produce for the forwards, but also Ashley Young is dead food. Get rid of him. What does he do? Well, I mean, there's been no attacks down the left-hand side unless it's Rashford doing a magic touch and pushing forward with nobody else supporting him. You know, I want to be positive because it looked really good for 10 minutes, but do you not see a pattern of our play? The first 10, 20 minutes is good, slowly but surely the game slips away from us. The other team come into it. The last 15 minutes, they're pushing. We come out second half poorly, don't have the energy, and they dominate. If that happens in the second half, it's very consistent, Mark, and I don't like it.
It's difficult. The first 20 minutes, I felt this was only going to go one way. Our predictions of a United win, I felt comfortable. I thought the first 10 minutes we played really well, and the great thing is it was entertaining on the eye. We were pushing forward. Again, without really creating the chances, but I was optimistic thinking the chances are going to come. And then we sort of dropped off. And Bournemouth had a couple of forays forward. Then we got back into it and it was a bit 50-50. But I started to feel, with 10 minutes before half-time, I started to feel that there was an opportunity. I don't think Bournemouth were on top by any means, but there was an opportunity that maybe Bournemouth could score first. And I actually said it in the watch-along. If Bournemouth score first in this game, it's going to make it very, very difficult for United because our heads will drop because we've been in charge of the game but we've not done anything with it. You've got to, it's a bit like when I was watching the rugby this morning. When you're in that final 22, even if you come away with 3 points from the kick, you've got to come away with something from that to make it worthwhile. And I think United coming away from that first 20 minutes 0-0 will cause heads to drop because we should have got a goal from that, but we just don't create enough chances for being on top. And a few people have said Pereira's not good enough. I mean, Pereira's better than Lingard and Mata. But yeah, I still think that, I've said it time and time again. Bruno Fernandes was available in the summer. United didn't do the deal. That's going to hurt us every single week of this season.
Every single match. Pereira's done a Lingard today. He's disappeared. I mean, we're playing with 10 men, so Bruno Fernandes would have sorted a lot of problems out, but we haven't got him, so they've got to step up, and he's not done it. He doesn't hold the ball up. He's not bringing everyone into play. That's where there's a disjoint in our gameplay. There's definitely a missing link in there somewhere. But Ollie's got, I don't know, what can he do second half to pick it up? It just seems like the same old story, Mark. You said we should have scored in the first 20 minutes. I didn't see a chance in the first 20 minutes. I saw some pretty football knocking it around in the middle of the park, and then, nothing. There was no open goals that we missed. There was nothing obvious.
No
I
good
can remember
chances,
that the keeper had to save. I don't even know who's playing in goal. So, as much as we like, it's pretty on the eye. If it's not effective, then what's the point?
The thing is, I think you got it right, to be fair, Paul. You said it before the game that Bournemouth will suit us. And I was like, I've not watched Bournemouth this season, but I know I sort of done a bit of research on them, and I thought they'd be very compact with their 2 lines of 4, and they'd look to hit us on the break. And to be fair, they were pressing really high up the pitch, and we were bypassing that press, and we were exploiting them. Dan James got in very, very early, and I was like, this could be like Norwich. We could get 2 or 3 goals here. The fear now is Bournemouth have, it's 45 minutes. It's a 45-minute game. Bournemouth are 1-0 up. They don't need to press high up the pitch. If Eddie Howe does this right, which is what I would do, I'd be like, we don't lose this game. A draw at home to Manchester United is actually a good point for us. We've got 3 at the moment. Let them come at us. Hit them on the break. Don't press too far forward. See what they can create against our 2 lines of 4. And we know, as United fans, we struggle against teams that sit back and hit us on the break. So, and also we know that United, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think it's been proven that his half-time team talk is shit, because we always come out second half and are very, very poor. So, my feeling is I've got to hope that United are going to win this, but I've got a bad feeling that the best we're going to get from this game now is a draw. But it all depends on how Eddie Howe manages it, because if he just sit backs and hit us on the break, we'll struggle to break them down.
Yeah, I mean, there were positives in the first 20 minutes. There were, in terms of our ball possession, playing around the corners, the confidence on the ball. But we did not really create any clear cut. We created chances, but nothing clear cut. So that's what I want to see in the second half. More confidence on the ball. Come out after a team talk, Sam. We know we have to put everything into this first 15 minutes to push them back. We need to come out hard and fast. Otherwise, Bournemouth are going to do the same to us again. We've got the goals in this, Mark. I think Pereira needs to step up, and we just need to do what we did in the first 20 minutes. We should get a couple of goals.
Did you think it was a penalty on Martial?
Nah, I don't think it was.
Oh, fair enough. I'll get you on for the last 10 if that's all right, Paul.
Yeah, all right, mate.
I'll speak to you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
Ta-da. We are just about to kick off second half. Referee's just about to do it there. I mean, of course, one of the other things I was going to mention there too, Paul, is that the problem United have got as well. And Sean D says Wan-Bissaka and Lindelof should take collective responsibility for that goal. Lindelof should have done better. Wan-Bissaka was behind and getting blocked. I think United got pulled all over the place defensively because we were doing man-to-man marking. And the problem with man-to-man marking is if you come against a team that's moving their players around all over the place, you end up getting Harry Maguire pulled to right back, Wan-Bissaka getting pulled to centre back, Lindelof getting pulled to left back, and that's what happened. They moved us around because we did man-to-man marking. You should do zonal marking. You should be intelligent enough to move your man off to somebody else. My other concern with this is United have got to come out in this second half and produce something that we've really struggled to do. Consistently, we've been a poor second half team. But another thing that you might want to factor in here as well is McTominay, Rashford, Fred, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, Harry Maguire, 3rd game in 6 days. Do you want to be chasing a game in the last 45 minutes of your 3rd game in 6 days? So have we got the legs second half? We'll have to wait and see. But it's going to be interesting how Bournemouth approach this game. If I was Bournemouth, I would keep compact. I would keep 2 lines of 4, and I would keep my defensive line low. Good running from Rashford there, but Bournemouth haven't had too many problems bypassing our. I don't know why De Gea's not come for that. It's a long ball, and Lindelof's having to run right back into his penalty box to get it. I think that was poor by De Gea. He's got to be coming off his line there. You've got to be joking, right? 1-0. Somebody's joined us a little bit late, and it's Camber beats Camberbat. Camper beats Camperbat, sorry. Papandu says that Maguire is the worst transfer in Premier League history. He's so bad. What's Harry Maguire done wrong? It's nothing to do with him, the goal. I think you can go chasing agendas against players. I mean, the reality is Bournemouth have attacked United's Ashley Young side. Everything they've done good has come from that side. Wan-Bissaka's got pulled out of position and defended badly on the goal. But ultimately, the United... It was a lovely ball forward by McTominay there. Unfortunately, Pereira doesn't hold it up. And that's a foul. That's good from McTominay, picking the ball up in the centre circle and playing it forward. Very Carrick-esque, that. I don't know how that's a foul by Fred. Ref's shit. Lovely play by Bournemouth. Down the Ashley Young side again. What a surprise. Cross comes in. Shot at the keeper. They are getting in down Ashley Young's side every bloody time. He's a waste of time. I mean, why are we picking Young? Again. I'm going to tweet about this. Oh, what have I done there? If you want to get yourself one of these t-shirts, United Stand, link is in the video description. Also, remember, 888 Sports are giving away a Manchester United home shirt. All you've got to do is go to the video, which is link in the video description as well, and leave a comment. Just say, I'm here from the United Stand. This is my thoughts on whether you should get a red card for a dive. And then you'll go in the draw. Just make sure you say in the comments of that video, I'm from the United Stand, and you'll go in the draw. It's not 2-0. It's 1-0 to Bournemouth at the moment, but... United need to do something that they haven't really done this season under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and that is produce a second half performance. Lovely little ball from Pereira to Rashford there. Good stretch defending. Otherwise, Rashford would have been in, and we're still managing to stretch Bournemouth's defence, which is good to see. That Bournemouth haven't actually changed their game plan. They're still looking to press United high up the pitch, which leaves the gaps there if we can exploit them. But can we create chances? This is the thing. We've played well. I agree, United have played well. But have we created the chances? That's the thing to keep your eyes on in this second half. Can United create chances? Because this is the problem that's running through the team. I don't want to hear if we lose or draw this game. Well, we were good to watch at times. Football's about scoring goals. You've got to create chances. And we are not creating enough chances as a football club. Come on, United. We need to get a goal. Well, you can get 2 goals in 10 minutes, but we've got to score next. Prince Tachalias is spot on. He says every team in the world knows that Ashley Young is the weak link. And again, they were getting in. I don't know where Ashley Young is in that picture. He's still not there now. Oh, here he comes. Awful player. Awful player. Leslie Lai says that Martial and Rashford need to step it up. I disagree. They need to be given chances. That's what they need. You know, there's very few players in the world that you can give them the ball on the halfway line and they're going to score a goal from it. You know, Messi, Ronaldo in his prime. You know, maybe a Neymar, but Martial and Rashford need service, and they're not getting it. Rahul KN says, before the game, Bournemouth hadn't scored for 1,300 minutes. Okay. Udit Beknaga says, easy to bypass Young, just give and go, will work 99 times. Can you bring up the stats? How many times have United scored from open play this season? I don't know, mate, and I can't go searching for stats like that when the game's up and running. Somebody might be able to. Stephen Dowd said, he's washed up too many times, letters to fit on a kit, because he sure ain't young anymore. Take up golf, you're finished. And to be fair to Young, Saad Yassin's right. Young is not a left back and keeps getting played there. No, I don't. Who was it who started playing Young as a left back? Did it go back as far as Moyes? Did Sir Alex do it? Was it Van Gaal who started it? Was it Mourinho started? I don't know. But whoever started it, we've just sort of decided it's right. But McTominay trying to get a shot away there. We need to. I mean, Lindelof's got himself into trouble there, but he's done well. Good play by Lindelof, that. Bournemouth are looking the better team at the moment. This is what's worrying me. They look more likely to score the second goal. Man United need to play out Anthony Martial much more, says Kazawari. Well, he has been injured, mate. He has been injured. Bollocks. Corner for United here. Oh no, it's not a corner, it's a goal kick. Bollocks. We need 2 penalties now, says David Jess. That's good. You've got to laugh in the face of adversity sometimes, haven't you? But Bournemouth are looking like the better team at the moment, so we'll probably get a penalty in a minute. Josh Sutton says, excuse the lack of club history knowledge here, but what was the relevance regarding the last post-pre-match? I live in convict land, so our history isn't taught pre-settlement. Laugh on that. What was that? But what was the relevance regarding the last post-pre-match? Josh Sutton. I don't know what you're on about, Josh. You've got to give us more context than that. What last post-pre-match? This game has got a loss written all over it, says Philippe. United just look like they're tiring a bit now. And that's not a good thing, but I think we need to find some energy. I don't know, he's going to give a yellow card here. Yeah. Yellow card for foul on Rashford. Man United lacks inspiration in the middle and the coach isn't doing it. Well, we certainly haven't come out second half very interesting again, have we? I'll tell you what, that tackle on Rashford could have been a lot worse than a yellow card. He goes through the back of him. It's an injury tackle, that, from Cook. Josh Sutton, the last post, the guy playing the buglehorn. I've still lost you. Oh! Before the game. It's to do with remembrance, poppies and things like that. So the poppy and everything like that. The guy playing the horn before the game, yeah. Remembering all those who have fallen. It's nothing to do with United. We are on 575,750 subscribers, so we're 250 away from hitting 576, where that number will change because it changes every 1,000 now. So please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, you're very welcome. We've got match reactions, fan cams. Fan cams are going to be very interesting because they were very positive after the Norwich game. If we don't get a positive result here today, I think people will just see that as a blip and reality's back. And the reality is here. Let me just lay this down on the line for you here. What's the excuse if United don't win today? Like, what is the excuse? This is pretty much our best team. You know, we're not Pogba FC. We're Manchester United FC. Where you can't just say, oh, Pogba's not playing, so we didn't create any chances. You know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, by his own mouth, said he chose not to buy midfielders in the summer. So this is on him. And this is on these players. And are they good enough? Mark, would you put Mata on? Tony and Marcus making good runs but lack service, is Akil Kamal. If Bournemouth go a little bit deeper, I would. Pereira, oh, good shot. Keeper spills it, probably because of the weather. And we'll get a corner. Little bit better from Manchester United. I think Lingard will be coming on at some point. Pereira shoots. It's wet, so keeper spills it. We end up with a corner from it. We've had 4 corners. When are we going to do something from a corner? I know Rashford scored a free kick, but we never do anything from corners. Another crap corner. Bournemouth looking to break fast here, but United have got the ball with Wan-Bissaka. He's going to have to go long. And there's an offside. I don't think you can use the weather as an excuse. There's a few people talking about the weather, but it's the same weather for Bournemouth, so I don't think you can use weather as an excuse. My concern in this second half is that we've got over half a team that's playing its 3rd game in 6 days, and that's down to bad management. It's great because we beat Chelsea, it's great because we beat Norwich, but the reality is this game today was the most important game of the week. It was the hardest game of the week, and the most important, 3 points and getting top 4 is more important than Carabao Cup, where you're probably going to get beaten by Man City anyway. So today was the most important game. I know we beat Chelsea. It was memorable. It was a bloody brilliant free kick. But you've got people like Phil Jones, Juan Mata, James Garner that could have started against Chelsea, and you could have rested McTominay, Maguire. We could have rested some players, and I think they're going to fade in this second half because they're playing too much football. You are a legend, says Tugai Goketh. Thank you very much. Every time we score a goal, I feel like we are bailing Ollie out, says Liam Johnson. Well, we've got to score a goal yet. Apart from, Manchester United first 10 minutes, let's be honest. First 10 minutes, I thought we looked like we were going to win the game 3 or 4-0. Since then, since that high of the first 10 minutes, we're dropping and dropping and dropping. I think second half we've looked poor. Although, Martial, Aki's done well. Aki's done well there. We've not created any chances. Dubai adverts running, connect the dots, says Christopher Liu. Hey, I wish United were being sold by the Glazers, by the way. I want to make that absolutely clear. I'll cross the bridge of the moral arguments if and when I know who the buyer is, but at the moment I just don't believe it. Pereira hasn't created anything. He's quite bad, to be honest, says Timmy H. We need a number 10. I keep saying this. Mason Greenwood sat on his arse there doing nothing. He should be warming up. It'll be Lingard he brings on. But I keep saying this. The decision not to sign Bruno Fernandes, and he was there to be bought, is going to cost us every single game of this season. And it keeps costing us. We haven't got a number 10. And at the moment, Bournemouth are the better side. You expect Manchester United against Bournemouth. You go 1-0 down. You could say it's a bit of a blip. We'll just dominate the game from this point. No. Oh, Fraser's getting booked now for a foul on Dan James. Yeah, good foul. Good yellow card. Yeah, definitely a yellow. Why do United play 4-2-3 always? Ollie is a journeyman, says Rahul KN. I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'll talk about that in the match reaction. You know, it should be 4-2-3-1 really. It's too defensive. Way too defensive. You look at United with the ball there. It's Fred and McTominay every time, stood in front of it. Stood in front of a back four. Well done, Young. Absolutely crap. Takes himself out of the game. Oh, De Gea did well there. Oh, God, United are hanging on here. Fred brings it out. Could have been bloody 2-0 there. Game's getting a bit stretched, though. Pereira, he needs a pass. Where's the pass? He ain't got anyone to pass to. Where's Pereira got a pass there? He has to go to bloody Ashley Young. Krill Kokarev says, you all said you wouldn't mind losses if we play pretty. This performance is exactly why Ollie didn't choose 4-3-3 from season start. No quality for that. Yeah, but we're losing and we're not playing pretty. I feel there's going to be a goal here, and if United can get it, we've got a game on. But Bournemouth are looking good as well. Lindelof gives the foul away. And a yellow card. Having two holding midfielders is bollocks, says Spank Me Santa. I haven't seen you for ages, mate. We've absolutely no options, just Fred and McTominay just standing in front of the back four. I agree. I think people, I said this before the game, the problem with the 4-2-3-1 is that people moan about the lack of chances, but it's an identity that United have. We're not going to press a button and create loads of chances when we're playing 4-2-3-1. We don't create many chances because we don't take risks. You've got 4 defenders and 2 centre defensive midfielders. You can't ask a number 10 and 3 forwards to break down 8 players because that's what you're asking to do. Liverpool and Man City create lots of chances because they commit people forward. You know, their fullbacks absolutely bomb on like wingers because they've got faith in their 2 centre-backs. Lingard's coming on now. Lingard to the rescue. That's how bad we've fallen. But then again, maybe Jesse Lingard can, kickstart his career at United by, doing something. Because Pereira's not done enough, has he? But it's hard. It's hard. Where can you get the United stand shirts, Mark? Says Harvey Jones. It's almost like I planted you to say that. But the link is in the video description. You'll see it in there. United stand exclusive T-shirts. We've got all sorts of styles. This is one of my favourites. The sort of Stone Roses, Manchester is Red T-shirts. Links in the video description. Get yours there. We've got you might want to get the green and gold. I'd love to see people walking around in that. A statement needs to be made against the club. And we've got the Class of 92. Who Me says, win, lose or draw today is a red herring. We're playing awful barring Norwich. We are scraping by with results. We don't dominate any game at all. Don't get this guy. He makes us play and sets us up like we are the underdogs every game. It's weird though because we did start off this game on the front foot and now it's just a what did I say? I'm going to take a note of this for afterwards. We're playing the quintessential mid-table club. This is a quintessential mid-table club. If somebody who'd never watched the Premier League said, give me an example of a mid-table club, you'd say Bournemouth. They're never going to go down, but they're never going to get in the top 8 either. They're a mid-table club. And United are struggling. All right, it's a 50-50 game, but it's still a mid-table club where it's 50-50. The quality is not coming out. Well, Ashley Young's just given a foul off the ball here. We've got to be careful here. 4-2-3-1. Our forward, says W. Skeezer. There's a foul off the ball here by Ashley Young. It's outside the box. Stephen Dowd. Williams, Twansebi should be the starters. Young and Lindelof for me are not good enough. And here comes Dance, Dance, Dance Revolution, says Stephen Dowd. Well, Ashley, Twansebi is actually injured. Mark, every day is Halloween. You for a while. Ollie remains there, says Zayn Massey. Ashley Young. Hey, we've got some good news. 5th booking of the season for Ashley Young, so we can't play next week anyway. Back of the net. That's good news. But it's a really good free kick opportunity here. For Bournemouth. Right on the edge of the box. And I always feel that De Gea lets in a lot of free kicks. He seems to get a lot of good free kicks against him. If this goes in, the game's gone. It's a crap free kick. I don't know what he was doing with that free kick, but I'm glad he went for the other corner. I thought he was going to dink it over, but we live to fight another day here because it was a crap free kick. Rashford should give him some ideas, but Lingard's coming on, and I'm pretty sure it will be for Pereira. He's not done well today. How long is this acceptable, says Sorrentes Garamella. Well, what did I say before the game? The point is, there are no excuses today. We are playing a mid-table side. We want to be a top 4 side. We've basically got our best side out apart from Pogba. We've created nothing. So, you know, you can't move away from that. You can't move away from that. And I think he's exhausted the players as well. Rashford into Young. Cut it back. Oh, God. We've got to score next. I think there's a goal in this for United. We've got to score next. Fred. Out to Dan James. Get in the box. Cross comes in. Not good enough. Young. Good run by Fred. They're going to get rid of it. They're going to clear it. No Pogba, no party, says Nick Dillis. I mean, look, Pogba's a very important player for Manchester United, but you can't be a one-man team. Ollie has come out and said, I didn't buy midfielders in the summer because I couldn't find anything that was good enough. Well, we've heard that we didn't sign Bruno Fernandes because he takes too many risks. Hello? It'd be perfect. This is worse than Erwin Rommel. I'm not reading that out. We're not reading that, thank you. Please do subscribe if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, we're getting close to 576,000. United have got a corner here. Can we score from a bloody corner for once? Dan James is on the corner. Fred. Oh, no. United have got it back. This is a bit better. United seem to have a bit of momentum at the moment. Now it's Dan James on the left-hand side. Run at him. Cross comes in. Oh, great header by Aki. Better from United this. Oh, they're going to get rid of it. There's a goal in this game. The next goal is going to be the key goal, isn't it? Will it be us? Will it be them? Now it's Bournemouth. Maguire has been shocking since after his debut, says Mike Hawk Small. I don't know why Maguire's getting the stick. I mean, Maguire was at fault for the goal the other day. Good tackle there by Wan-Bissaka. DRW says, please end your drought. Lingard. Please do. Somebody do something. A draw, you know what, I'm going to say this though. I'm going to moan anyway, even if we draw. We better, you know, the only way out of this for United and Ollie is if we bloody win this game. Because a draw's not good enough. And ultimately, even if we win it, I'm still going to say, this is shit. This is not good enough. Alligator, Ollie's not good enough and we're supposed to forget everything with a free kick goal. Meaningless cut game. What do I know? I'm not from Manchester. Mr. Goldbridge, I love you, says Panit Poltzmon's porn. And who me? Zane walk in the park with his date was quick. Oh, Zane's taking an L there. We look clueless when we have to chase a game, says Srikanta Garamella. Have we come from behind under Ollie? Have we ever come from behind under Ollie? That's not what she said or anything like that. I mean, have we ever come from behind under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Ashvin says it's their birthday. Happy birthday if it is, mate. There's a goal in this game. It won't stay 1-0. There's another goal in this game. And if we can get it, we could go on and win it. It's got to create chances. I mean, have we created a chance in this second half? It's all too slow. This is all too slow. We've got the ball here and we're pissing about with it in our own half. That was a good ball by Lindelof into Lingard. Good forward pass there. Now it's with Young. It's always going to come on his right foot, though, because he's right-footed. He can't swing it in with his left. Mark, your game against Arsenal FTV was much better, says Srinkis Garamella. Thank you, mate. Right, United are on the attack here. Can we just create a chance? I think if we create a chance, we'll score it. Especially if it's for Martial. Lindelof. Still got it. Young. Fred. McTominay. Now this is where the danger is. Oh, we've won it back. We've got the ball now. You've got to start creating chances. We've got the ball. Bournemouth are sitting in for 1-0. We've got the ball. Create the chances. Young. Lingard. Fred. Shooting from 30 yards. We create nothing. We create nothing. This is the problem. Whatever the result today. I really thought we were going to win today. More fool me. We could still do 3-1. We could still do 3-1. Please do subscribe if you're new. We're only 100 away from 576,000. Bottom right hand corner. Subscribe to the channel. Get involved in the conversation. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got the fan cams. I think they're going to be very interesting if we don't turn this around, because there was a lot of positivity over the last 2 games. But was that the blip? Bournemouth, they're not even that good. Oh, De Gea's just kept us in it. What a save by De Gea. I thought that was going in the bottom corner from Wilson. Good play by Bournemouth. And again, you know, in this second half, they've created the better chances again. It's a really good save by De Gea. It could have been 2-0 and it would have been game over. Shocking. Absolutely shit. Awful. Absolutely awful. Oh, and another chance. They've headed it wide from Wilson. I think he was offside or a foul, but I think he'd given a foul. Must have been a foul. Otherwise, it was an absolute sitter. Stop saying there's a goal in the game. You already jinxed England by saying they'll be champions by brunch, says the contrarian. Up you box. Yeah, I don't talk about rugby anymore. And Serinkath Garamella says, last week everyone was jumping Ollie at the wheel, Mark. Now they were slating for this. We need a miracle to even make it out of relegation. And Sanuj Batla says, 15 minutes remaining for Dan James to show something amazing and save Man United from this shame. I don't think anybody was actually singing Ollie's at the wheel last week, to be fair. I don't think they were. I think that people wanted to take the positives. That Bournemouth player looks like Torres, says Gold Piece Prosperity. Harry Wilson, I think he is actually on loan from Liverpool as well. But yeah, I don't think anybody was singing Ollie's at the wheel. I just think they saw some positivity for the first time in weeks and wanted to grab hold of that positivity. But the reality is that this was always the big test. Bournemouth was always the big test today. Mason Greenwood's warming up now. But you know what? I look at that coaching lineup there. They just went to the dugout of Carrick, McKenna, Phelan and Solskjaer, and you look at it and it just doesn't look like it knows what it's doing, does it? 1 step forward, 2 steps back all over again. Why is Williams not starting this game? I don't understand what value Young adds to the squad exactly. And Simon Cliff says, Mark, we lack a leader. When I was growing up, young players looked up to Keane, Cantona, Schmeichel, etc. Who do our young players look up to? Ashley Young. We need to buy a leader in January. Well, you know, Harry Maguire had the captaincy on Wednesday. Why does it have to go back to Young? I don't get that. De Gea had it at the start of the season. It went to Young. I think in fairness to McTominay and Fred, they've looked tired this second half, and that's just bad management. because they've played how many games in 3 days? 3 games in 6 days. It's poor management. It's poor management. Another foul here on Rashford. The thing is, though, if we were to lose this game today, we would have played... Oh, Rashford nearly got in there from a Lingard ball. I don't know how it didn't go through. This is game 11, isn't it? We will have lost 4, drawn 4, and won 3. United on the attack. We've got a corner. We never score from corners. I'm saying it in the hope that we're going to score from a corner, but we never bloody score from corners. We do sod all with corners. Again, another problem for United, especially when we've bought somebody who's good at corners. Ashley Young takes it. Up it goes. Punched away. Maguire was waiting for it. It didn't make its way through, and it's not a goal. I mean, Young's getting a lot of the ball. Another corner. Another corner for United. Big deep cross. Oh, headed away and away. And the free kick. Come on, bloody hell. We're running out of time here. I think we're sort of hitting that point in the game now, aren't we? Where if if we do get something out of this, we're still going to be saying how shit we were. Talk to me, people. Well, Lingard's got a bit of paper now. It's all right. Lingard's got a bit of paper. And Williams is coming on as well. So he's bringing Williams and Greenwood on. Wan-Bissaka's off, which must be something to do with fitness. Who came off for Greenwood then? Don't know, is the answer. Oh, nearly a good takedown by Rashford there. United are buzzing forward. I don't know who came. Was it Fred? No, Fred's still on. Maybe we've gone 3 at the back. McTominay, poor pass. Fred loses it. Good tackle. Oh, shit. He's got to be miles off. He's got to be miles off, Wilson. Yeah, he's miles off. Dan James comes off for Greenwood. That's unfortunate. Well, where's this goal coming from, everybody? We're on the attack here with Williams. I presume Young's still on the bloody pitch. He'll go to right back. Fred. Back post. Oh! Greenwood on the back post. How did he not score? Good crossing on the back post. I thought I was just going to see the net ripple and it didn't go in. I tell you what, Greenwood's so good at getting into good situations, but he still does miss good chances as well. It's not, he's a young kid. He's going to get better and better, but he doesn't seem to get the run of the luck there, and I thought that was in. I thought it was in. But United are just going to lay siege to Bournemouth in these last 10 minutes now. Can we get at least a point? If we don't, Bournemouth are above us. McTominay's going to shoot. Good shot. Oh, why are we not following up on that? That's the second time that's happened. Good shot from McTominay. Spills loose, and a striker should be on that. Rashford or Martial or Greenwood need to be following those shots in. United now laying siege to Bournemouth's goal. I want to see that Greenwood chance again. I think that was the chance we've been waiting for all half. Ashley Young's gone to right back, yes. I'm not saying yes because it's a good thing. I'm just confirming that he's gone to right back. Lingard, shoot for God's sake. Greenwood doesn't beat the first man with the cross. This reminds me a lot of the LVG era. And Williams shoots wide. Says Jesus Escobar. The fans are getting moody. Oh, Paul, can you hear me? I didn't realise you. I've been in there waiting. Can you hear me, Paul?
Yeah, hello, mate.
Yeah, you sound very relaxed. What's your thoughts on this second half? Just a couple of super chats. Saranketh Garamella says, Mark, you said Ollie will make it to the summer. Still think he will. Yes, I do. X Smash says, Ash might as well do a ring of roses in the pitch. Yeah, look, I mean, the bigger question about Solskjaer is a bigger question, Paul. But I still don't. I think if he loses this, the club will still say Ollie's at the wheel. I don't think that's going to change. I think the sadder thing about today is that we are playing a mid-table side. They are a mid-table side. They are the quintessential mid-table side, and we've not looked any better than they have. So, what are we? A mid-table side?
Well, by the players we've got, we should be better than mid-table side, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not much better, but we should be pushing up for the top six. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know who to put this down to, Mark. Is it Ollie? Is it the players? Because it's the exact same pattern as we've been seeing the entire season. First 20 minutes good.
Well, Rashford was nearly
lose
in there.
touch with the game a little bit, come out with no energy, and the worst side for the first 35 minutes of the second half, and then panic in the last 10 minutes and put pressure. It just seems, as much as we played some pretty football here and there, it just seems the same shit, mate.
Another corner. We must have had 100 corners today as well, and
what's going on with our cross? Why can we never get anybody in there? Harry Maguire going in there with the head on it. But yeah, I don't understand why we can never get our heads on things. Harry Maguire was meant to fix that. He was meant to come in and win everything.
Well, the thing is, if we do get a goal now, it's nothing. I said this. Even if we get a draw, or even if we miraculously got a win, it wouldn't tell us anything about the team, because it's just all you're seeing now is, throw caution to the wind, put way more players up front than you normally would, try and win the game, etc., which is absolutely expected. I've got no problem with that. But from a game management point of view, it would just paper the cracks, because you're just trying. It's all out to try and get a result now. It's not about a game plan. The game plan's failed. We're just chucking men forward trying to nick a goal, and Bournemouth are going to try and defend a goal. That's just the way football goes, and we might scrape a point from it, but ultimately it's just yet again really, really bad from United.
You said it, Mark. The game plan failed. The actual plan to win this game failed. Now this is all hands to the pump to just try and get a goal so we can get a draw, and that seems to be quite familiar to quite a few games this season. I mean, we're back to the formation that we always use in the Premier League, and it seems to get a result. But for what reason? And ping in between them. This is Ollie's trusted formation, and this is Ollie's trusted. This is the best that Ollie has, in my opinion, because we see it regularly. The only player we're without is Pogba, but our slow transition and inability to keep the ball in the middle of the park is just, it kills us. It really does. We've got ball-playing defenders who play really good balls to break the lines, and we've got midfield who just don't know what to do with it. They haven't got a clue. So, replacing Lingard for Pereira, what's the crack with that?
I know Lingard's. I mean, look. I mean, how many more? I think Juan Mata's on the bench, isn't he? So what does Mata? What was the point in keeping Mata then? You know, you take your number 10 off to bring Lingard on, who's had numerous opportunities at Manchester United over the last 8 months and been awful. Juan Mata, you're paying him 140 grand a week. You've played 3 games in 6 days, and Mata's not played 1 minute. So, you know, it's crazy. I think this is just totally out of ideas. And you know, I'm hoping we can just grab a point, because in the context of the season, if we don't, we're dropping down the league again. Bournemouth will be above us after 11 games, and
like
you are where you are.
Yeah, but grabbing points. Well, it doesn't matter about the result now. And grabbing points, and we just need to win this game, and we just need to get a draw. It's not progress. It's trying to snatch a league position. It's not right. You know, we can see where we're going. Something's coming together.
Yeah.
You know, second half of the season, we're definitely going to kick on. Nothing's changing, Mark. I mean, I don't know what to say. I can't see any progress. You know, we scored 2 goals in the last match.
The thing is, there's no excuse.
It was a penalty and a free kick.
There's no excuse today, is there? Because
no, there is. That's what I was saying. It's Ollie's best 11 with Ollie's best tactics and formation. So, you know, point the finger where you want, but he's got to take some blame.
That's a poor ball by Martial. I see Martial's game's sort of disappeared as well now. It's poor, and I mean, Bournemouth have been a better team second half.
Who's our standout player?
Well,
but at the same time, who's played really badly? I don't think anyone really has, apart from Ashley Young, but we expect that. It's just all been these sort of mid-table performances that you'd kind of expect from players who play in the Premier League. There's no one I'm thinking, wow, they've knocked it, you know, they're the ones.
Well, I think McTominay's had a really bad last half an hour, and Fred, but I would put that down to the fact they've played 3 games in 6 days. Like, you can't. He knew we had these 3 games in 6 days, and he's gambled on picking his best team for 3 games, and you just can't do that at the highest level. It's, you know, Chelsea will benefit from playing their kids.
You start to run out of excuses, don't you?
Yeah,
that's the problem. You start to run out of excuses. You kind of recycle the excuses for our performances. And eventually, you come back to the beginning and start saying 3 games, 6 days. Hasn't, you know, thin squad.
But he
hasn't
could have
got
used that squad a lot
bench.
Better.
He could, but he hasn't. We haven't got the squad. Look at the benchmark. We've got no one. We got to replace players with Lingard and kids.
Well, Lingard's been like the invisible man again, hasn't he? Let's be honest.
Sorry.
Lingard's been like the invisible man.
Oh, he's useless. He's just a big bag of nothing. He is. He might as well just stick a big turd in the middle of the park. He's gone. He's dead. I don't know if he can bring it back. Hopefully he can. But yeah, as I was saying, from the bench, we got nothing to win the game with. Nothing. We've got like for like or like for worse. Now, you know, that's due to not enough investment in the summer, and we all know there wasn't. So one problem affects the other here. You know, it's very difficult for Ollie to manage with what he has, but also he should be managing better with what he has, because we've got better players than Bournemouth. We've got better players in Rochdale. We've got better players in Astana.
Oh yes, it's just not good enough.
So we should at least be drawing or winning, but we don't look. It would even look like we're going to, let alone actually getting the result. So I know I'm being harsh and negative, but
we're definitely we're losing or drawing this game, everybody, because we've got 2 minutes. It's as simple as that. We ain't got time to do anything else.
There's the result, isn't it?
And I think you know, I will talk about it in my match reaction, but I think you're right as well. I think the one thing that I was positive about this game to win it was that there's no excuses. It really is Ollie and his coaching staff with our best players apart from Pogba. So you go into a team that's not as good as us, you should win this game. And if you don't win it, there's 2 things you've got to look at as a fan. Is the coaching staff good enough? Are the players good enough? And I think the answer to both of those is no. I mean, Lingard's in here, Williams puts him through and he fucks it up. I mean, that's Lingard.
Yeah, that completely. Yeah, because he's got no left foot. He didn't want to shoot. He tried to cut inside where there was 4 players. Our decision making is appalling. But
see, Williams in 5 minutes, I think, has looked absolutely superb. And he's just played Lingard in a one-on-one, and Lingard bottles it on his left foot, tries to cut it on his right, which was never on.
My biggest gripe at the moment with Ollie is where's this youth he always talks about and has been talking about forever. He bottles it on that. But your overwhelming feeling on this game, Mark, what is it? Because mine is, if I had to sum it up in one word, deflated.
I just think I think it was very reactionary for me to say Ollie out, but something's massively got to change at this club, because whatever the plan they've got is not right. We need time. There's, I'd love to know what Gary Neville, Roy Keane, Ryan Giggs, all these respected ex-United players would say after that today. Because there is no excuse. Ollie's tried the injuries. He's tried all sorts of things about, we've been unlucky. We haven't been unlucky today. The thing is, in a way, I'm glad we didn't get that penalty. I thought it was a penalty, but I'm glad we didn't, because I think if we had got the penalty, then we would have probably gone on and won the game in a boring way. And the reality is, we haven't.
If we deserve to lose, let's just lose. Let's just say it how it is.
We're not good
so
enough.
We know where
what chances have we created again? No chances hardly created again.
Yeah, we didn't deserve to lose, but we do not deserve to win.
It's absolutely
mediocre.
shocking.
It's just mediocre football. Without a specific plan, I can interpret on the pitch. I still don't know what we're trying to do. I still don't know. What is it we're trying to do, Mark? What football are we playing?
Fucking
That's
useless.
It came over, done. Lost 1-0. Beginning of our 6 games we should win, we lost. Not very good momentum, is it?
It really isn't. Thanks for coming on, Paul. Really appreciate you popping on half-time and the last 10 minutes as well, and before the game.
It's always a pleasure, Mark. Shame about the result, mate, but I appreciate your time.
No worries. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll speak to you soon, mate.
You too. Cheers, buddy.
And thanks everybody for watching in the live comments. Match reaction, I'm going over there. There's no point carrying on the watch along. That's the end of that. Match reaction, link in the video description. I'll be live in 60 seconds time. I've got a lot of things I want to say. But what I would say is I think Paul's right, deflated. That's just not good enough. And I'm fed up with the excuses, and I don't see where the excuses come through tonight. I really don't. Link in the video description. I will see you over on my match reaction in 60 seconds.